Ben. As always, I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
This week, it's our Halloween episode. Happy Halloween.
Ooh. And such.
Boo! And for the third year running, I've avoided saying spooktacular.
Oh no.
But today, we're talking, it is a movie episode. We've done a few recently, but we felt we couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk about collectively one of our favourite films, what we call it, franchises.
I think you two more than me, personally. As a kid, I wasn't majorly into it. I've got to say, I was more into Back to the Future, The Goonies. I liked it, but it wasn't one of my favourite.
I was obsessed.
Yeah.
There are pictures of me in my real Ghostbusters jumpers.
And as Gaz just said, we're talking about the Ghostbusters.
Oh,
I
sorry.
told him that.
Did you say it?
Mike started talking, so I let him finish because he hadn't given away what it was.
Oh.
But we're talking about the Ghostbusters.
Sorry, I ruined the big surprise. But you do realise they'd have known that from clicking on the episode title.
I'm just stoned, I don't know what's going on.
I've just broken Ben's brain.
Yeah, all right.
You introduced the show,
Yeah.
then.
Yes, talking about the Ghostbusters. I love the Ghostbusters. So,
Me
right,
too.
before we start that, let's have a look at where people are listening to us this week and say thank you to some new and returning listeners. Ooh, Denmark, that's a new one. Aarhus, North Bergen, New Jersey, St. Constant, Canada. A lot of American listeners, Little Rock, Arkansas, said it right this time. Bellingham, I'm assuming that's Wisconsin, WA. Mike, you're a geography expert.
Isn't that Washington?
Maybe Washington then, probably Washington. Sorry, people in Bellingham.
Bellingham.
Durham, NC.
I love to get my bell in some ham.
North Carolina.
Guadalajara in Mexico, Bangalore in India, Dakar in Bangladesh, Birmingham, United Kingdom, Birmingham, Telford in at number 5,
Wee.
our hometown, Charlotte, NC, North Carolina. We're getting big in North Carolina. Walla Walla in Washington.
Isn't that an Offspring song?
It is.
It is, yeah.
Walla, see you in a Walla Walla.
Isn't
It's
that
a prison.
slang? Yeah, it's a prison, yeah. And Shady Nasty, still at number 1, New York. Whatever. If someone from Sheptonady, Shady Nasty, can tell me how to pronounce your lovely town's name, I will take that on board. Benton, Arkansas, Porterville, Missouri, Flint, Michigan, welcome back. Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you very much for listening. A lot of American listeners this week.
Thank you to everybody.
Yeah, sorry about all the times I insulted you.
Yeah, don't mean it.
It's all in good fun.
It's just all in the name of band.
We insult everybody,
Yeah, we do.
including ourselves.
We insult everyone equally.
Yeah, I do rip the piss out of myself as much as anybody else, I'd imagine. Apart from... No, I'm not going to
That's
mention
what the Brits do well. Self-deprecation.
She who shall not be named.
What? Lady Voldemort.
No, Greta. Don't set me off, don't trigger me.
Might be some Greta news later.
Oh no!
Is this part of the ongoing occasional
How
series
dare you?
where we just attempt to trigger Gaz?
Oh god.
Fantastic.
Oh, excellent. Well,
So usually we start with some weird news. It'll take 20 minutes, half an hour or so, and then we'll crack on with the main cut and thrust of today's topic.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
So what we got first, Mike? 68-year-old grandma arrested after killing and eating 14 people.
wow. Well, at least she made use of them.
That's true.
You know, people all get mad at people that hunt for sport, don't they? But nobody gets mad at Joe Rogan because he feeds his family on what he hunts.
Yeah.
So at least...
But they're not humans.
Unless he's hunting humans.
You didn't know these people. She could have been killing and eating bad people. Let's find out.
Well,
If they're bankers, I'm okay with it.
I see.
grandmothers may have a funky smell, and sure, they can be pretty annoying sometimes. But I think it's safe to say that no one really fears them.
They always have that smell, don't they?
Not piss.
No, if you go to your nan's house, it always had a particular smell. Or was it just my nan?
Piss.
It's just a nan smell.
Like old
For
mustard.
milk. I don't know.
Aspirin and gin. Old women are typically seen as being completely harmless, though 68-year-old Tamara Samasonova may forever change the way you view them. As reported by the UK's Daily Star, the Russian grandmother was arrested this week for the murder of her 79-year-old friend, caught thanks to CCTV footage that showed her hauling the elderly woman's body parts around in a plastic bag. At a nearby pond, the rest of the woman's corpse was soon located. But that's only the beginning of the story, as a police raid of Samsonova's flat uncovered a series of diaries detailing upwards of 14 other murders, and the woman, already dubbed, I love this, Hannibal Lecter by the media, didn't just kill her victims, she chopped them into pieces and even consumed them. The horrifying diaries recount the brutal murders of a man whose remains were found over a decade ago, and even Samsonova's own husband, who went missing back in 2005. At the time, nobody suspected the then 58-year-old woman who was to blame for his disappearance. I'll quote her: "I killed my tenant, Volgia, cut him to pieces in the bathroom with a knife, put the pieces of his body in plastic bags and threw them away." She's already pled guilty to her crimes, insisting she knew this day was coming and she intended to be caught. She says the recent murder of her friend was the closing of the cannibalistic chapter of her life, and she wants to be punished to the full extent of the law. She said to the judge, "You decide, Your Honour. I am guilty and I deserve a punishment."
To be fair, I'm looking at a picture of her now and she looks like somebody that would murder and eat people. She looks like a cartoon witch.
She looks like the crazy cat lady from The Simpsons.
Yes, she does. I hope she didn't eat cats.
Maybe she did. Times are tough in Russia.
I don't know if they're that tough though, are they?
Who knows? I don't know. The Western corporate media never tells us nothing, Gaz.
They keep us in the dark, damn it.
Oh man.
Just because Vladimir is trotting around with a horse bare chest doesn't mean everyone else is living life so high.
Oh no, did you see what happened to the poor what are they called? Extinction Rebellion?
Yeah, Extinction Rebellion.
Did you see what happened to the ones that jumped on the train?
Yeah, they got beaten.
They really picked the wrong spot. But their leader said he's had it bang on. They had the good intentions, pure intentions, but they really didn't pick their spot. It was those people needed to go home to work, to whatever. They're the working class. They're already taking the least damaging form of transport.
Yeah.
And it was London. It took precisely, I think, 20 seconds before somebody said, "You fucking cunt!" and threw coffee at him.
Yeah, dragged them off the top of the train.
I didn't agree with them kicking the shit out of him, but
that's beat him that much. People did get in there and stop it.
After I watched it several times, he took a kicking before people got in. But it's his own fault, because when the one went to pull him off, he sort of instinctively kicked at him, didn't he? So everyone saw that and was like, "Oh!" And typical.
Oh, Millwall, I am.
You could say they're achieving their aims, though.
What did they achieve?
Their aim is to get it in the public consciousness.
And what's that achieve?
Well,
that's their aim anyway.
Guess what that train's going to do tomorrow?
What you've got to look at also is, it's not an organised thing, it's people just doing it, isn't it?
No, it is an organised
thing. There's no overall leadership.
Yeah, there is.
They were acting on their... Yeah, it's an organised group.
Yeah.
Well, because there's been a blanket ban on... They're not allowed to do these disruption things anymore, but they're allowed to do agreed ones. Like there's a peaceful one at Gatwick or somewhere like that today, where they were just handing out leaflets, which is fair enough. And like I said, I'm not laughing because of what caused it. I just think the hopelessly misguidedness that you could stop a bunch of working class Londoners from going home and expect them to give a flying fuck about anything you've got to say. They could have been protesting anything. This train's giving you cancer, we have proof. Fuck off, you cunt! I've got to be home in a minute.
Some of them might work outside the city. That might not be the first train they take. Live outside the city.
Yeah, it could fuck them up.
It might be like, that might be they have to take that one to another station and then get a train out of London to go back to where they live. A lot of people commute in, don't they?
This is why they need leadership.
They don't do that. Why do that? They're taking public transport.
Yeah.
They're doing
I
that.
don't agree with that particular thing.
They fucked up, basically.
Basically, this guy was just fucking probably mentally ill and jumped on the bandwagon.
No, I don't think he was an ex-Buddhist teacher. Anyway, I don't want to derail it too much. Hey, see what I did there? I thought it was hilarious until he got a kick in, basically. People were being a bit opportunistic there, like, Oh, you're hard, aren't you? Kicking him while he's on the floor.
A lot of frustration in this country nowadays, guys.
Well, very true. And then saying that, I would have probably been at the front. Fucking smash him!
I want to go home, you daft prick! Stamp.
But
Yeah.
Anyway.
There we go. Don't trust your grandma.
Don't stop trains.
Don't stop trains, don't trust your grandma. Lessons to live by. Go on then, Mike.
Family waiting for end of time found on farm.
Yeah, I saw this. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
Police discovered a hidden room at a remote farmhouse in the Netherlands. A family who spent 9 years on a farm waiting for the end of time have been discovered by police after one of them turned up at a local pub.
Oh man, well, of all the play like after I would go, give us a beer, mate. Still gonna fucking sell
Didn't
it.
he order, like, in the article I read, he ordered like 5 beers or something. Like, literally, which is exactly what you would do.
Too fucking right.
A man of 58 and 6 young adults aged 18 to 25 were living at the farm in the province of Drenthe. The family were found after the eldest of the children ordered beer at a bar in the nearby village of Runeveld. He then told staff he needed help. Broadcaster RTV Drenthe reported, "We found 6 people living in a small space in the house which can be locked but wasn't a basement," police told in a statement late on Tuesday. The older man has been arrested. According to the family, he is the father of the 6 children, say police. It was not clear whether they had been there voluntary. The eldest son was not there at the time, police told the BBC.
No, he was in the bar.
Local reports described the man as a handyman called Joseph B.
Oh, Joseph. Oh, it's a bit fucking fritzily,
It is
isn't
a bit in it. No basement though.
Nah, no. Oh, yeah, the panic room.
Is originally from Austria.
Oh! Joseph of Austria. Where is Fritzl nowadays?
I've never seen anything like it, local mayor Roger de Groot told reporters. He revealed that some of the family had not been registered locally and also indicated that the 58-year-old was not the father.
Oh, wow, so Groot said all that by just saying, I am Groot. But no, that's weird how the mayor said, hey, do you know if he's the dad? Do you know But they're all telling him that he is? Is it some weird cult?
I don't know what's been going on.
He added he had long hair, a dirty beard, wore old clothes and looked confused. He said he'd never been to school and hadn't been to the barber for 9 years.
Fucking hell. Wow.
He said he had brothers and sisters who lived at the farm. He said he was the oldest and wanted to end the way they were living.
And get pissed.
When they searched the farmhouse, they discovered a hidden staircase behind a cupboard in the living room that led down to a secret room where the family were housed.
It's kind of the basement then, isn't it?
So was somebody living in the upstairs part? I'm confused about this story. Do you know what I mean? Or did they have an upstairs and they just chose to all move to the
It
basement?
doesn't say.
Did he keep them in the downstairs but like went up to do stuff?
And is one of them his daughter and the rest his granddaughters, Fritzl style?
Possibly, I wouldn't like to say. I think there might be something to that. I think they're maybe just Austrians just like keeping their families in underground rooms.
Well, you know what they like, they're funky Austrians.
Never trusted Austria because they spent 70 years saying everyone Hitler was German.
You could trust Arnold though, he's
You can trust Arnold.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
trust Arnold.
Trust Arnold. In Arnold we trust.
Yes.
I'm still not excited by that Terminator film and I watched the other trailer.
Mm,
But I did watch Genesis the other week and quite enjoyed it still.
yeah, I like Genesis. I do.
Can I just have a brief tangent?
You may.
I've been taking your advice and watching things that are like just escapism.
Yes.
So I've been watching all the Transformers films on Netflix,
Adore them.
right?
I adore them.
Why are the Autobots so shit? Because there's only seems to be Optimus Prime and Bumblebee that can actually kill anybody.
Yeah, they do tend
The
to.
rest of them are absolutely useless.
Yeah, but
I
they-
mean, the one, they're on their fucking knees with their hands around it, surrendering when they know for a full fact they're going to get shot in the back of the head anyway.
Well, they look cool.
They do, but why are they all so useless? And the
No,
Decepticons outnumber the fuck out of them all the time, and they still somehow manage to win by just continually retreating.
That one in part 4 called Drift.
Oh, I haven't got that far.
Because he's a samurai, Mike, and he's a robot from
Oh, is that
space.
the last? Is that the last night one?
No, it's the one before, I think.
Oh, I missed that one, but I've started watching the last... I've watched...
It's the one before the last night, which might be my favourite one. But anyway, because he's a samurai, you have to talk like this, yeah? I am the Autobot. You know, that's not racial at all, is it?
No.
Then in part 2, you've got those two little ones that talk like that, man.
Yeah,
Hey, man.
Yeah, that's true. I've been watching that one, yeah.
I'm like the worst black stereotype I could possibly be, even though I'm a robot from space. So yeah, some weird shit in those films, but I absolutely adore them.
I've enjoyed them, apart from Shia LaBeouf, who I universally despise.
This is how you watch those films, and I'm going to mime for the boys and for the listeners. I'm unscrewing the top of my skull.
That's exactly what I did.
I'm flapping open my skull like a toilet lid, and I'm removing my brain, placing it to the side of me for later, and I'm just going to sit dribbling in a comatose joy.
And that's what I did. I quite enjoyed
They're
Dark Side of
good.
the Moon.
They're amazing on that level.
Revenge of the Fallen was okay. I thought it was a bit long. I've just started the last night.
That's the one that's the most universally sort of ridiculed for making zero fucking sense. But you don't watch them because they make sense. You watch them because you've got what's his name?
Optimus Prime?
No, Hannibal
Hopkins.
Lecter, Anthony Hopkins phoning it in, but you know, it's got a good story. I like how they try and link it to conspiracies and stuff, and like explain like that the wikis without. Nah, just watch it.
Alright, yeah, okay.
Love them. Right, what's fucking next? Let's finish this news.
That's weird news.
And then we'll bust some fucking
Bust some ghosts.
Bust some heads.
In a spiritual sense.
Wow. Man sets pet lion on electrician demanding payment for work. Okay. That's what happens when you go to do electrical work at Scarface's house. A caretaker set his pet lion on an electrician who demanded to be paid for work at a religious building in Pakistan. Ali Raza unleashed the animal and then watched as it mauled Mohammed Rafiq's face and arm, according to a police report seen by the Dawn newspaper. He is now facing a charge of attempted murder in relation to the incident on the 9th of September. Mr. Raza is said to have hired Mr. Rafiq for a job at the Sadi-e-Iman Hussain Congregation Hall in the Shadara district of Lahore. When the electrician asked for his wages, Mr. Raza told him to come back another day. After repeated delays, Mr. Rafiq finally insisted on being paid. The caretaker is said to have become annoyed and released the lion. Mr. Rafiq told police no attempt was made to rescue him from the animal by Mr. Raza or 3 other men at the scene. He was eventually rescued by passers-by who heard his cries, it is claimed. The electrician said he did not initially file a complaint because Mr. Raza promised to pay for his medical treatment and compensation.
Oh, come on, as if you're going to believe that. He hasn't paid you for fucking weeks.
Just released
I'll
the lion
pay
on
for
you.
your treatment.
Oh,
Don't worry.
God.
No, you're not. You haven't paid me for the electrical work I did, you twat.
And this guy's a cunt.
Mr.
For releasing
Raza.
that lion on him. I mean, he knows what's going to happen. The lion's going to eat him, and the lion's going to get shot.
Yeah, probably. I think Mr. Raza sounds like the Pakistani Del Boy. Okay, no. Oh, I'll pay you later, don't worry.
Ron Elbow was a lion. Elbow was a psychopath.
Well, he finally went to the police on the 11th of October after that money, surprise, surprise, also failed to materialise.
Finally went to the police.
He believed him again after he set a lion on him.
That's what I mean. He's like, yeah, I'll pay you. And then he said, don't tell the police. I'll pay your medical bills.
Alright, but you better not be lying this time.
He sat at home with his fucking face and arm bandaged up, can't work, mauled by a lion.
Imagine
And he's
a
like,
touch of PTSD.
And imagine just wakes up in a cold
smidge.
sweat every fucking night, dreaming of lions eating his face. Right? When did the attack take place? Is it takes 11th of October? He went to the police. Does it say when the attack took? 9th of September. He waited a fucking month. His wounds are probably gone fucking septic.
But Mr. Rafiq say he will pay. So.
Most trusted man I've ever seen.
Mr. Rafiq, if you are listening, I have some fucking work for you to do, my friend.
He finally went to the police.
After a month and 2 days, sat at home with his fucking lion wounds festering. Honey, your wounds are starting to smell.
That is amazing.
I love the final sentence. Police have lodged a case under Section 324 of the Pakistan Penal Code. Section 324, the
Lion
releasing
attacks.
of lions on electricians.
Is that the end of the article?
Yeah.
Is that it?
What else do you need to know? Mr. Ross has a fucking gullible prick. Mr. Rafiq's a psycho with a lion. Oh man, well, I hope
Well, Mr. Raz is a psycho with a lion.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Rafiq is the most trusting man on the planet. Mr. Rafiq, I have lots of jobs for you to do
Yeah.
around my house, electrically and otherwise. And I'll pay you. I promise.
Well, fuck me. I hope the lion comes out of it all right. It's not the lion's fault.
It's not. Although I also do question why a caretaker of a religious building has a pet lion.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it?
It is a bit.
Oh well.
You do get the feeling, like Pakistan, that we have had a few articles from the Indian subcontinent where like monkeys have bashed an old person's head in with rocks, and that guy cut his own head off with a sword, and now we've got a man with a pet lion. So you get the feeling it's a little bit lawless sometimes, don't you? A bit dangerous.
I'm
to say the
thankful
least.
for little sleepy Shropshire.
Yeah.
Oh mate.
The only thing we've got to worry about is hobbits.
Yeah, and pedo gangs.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're safe
we'll
from
be
that.
safe. Yeah.
Not saying rapist taxi drivers, so
Well, I don't know.
you never know.
No offence, but I don't think we're really the target, Ben.
You never know.
Pretty sure.
You never know.
It's going to be pretty hard. Let's say he does knock one of us unconscious. He's going to have to be in pretty good shape to like haul us about and get us in the positions he wants us in.
Well,
I've thought about this too much.
some
Moving
might
on.
say it's become a fantasy.
Some mates even acted it out.
Do you think I pulled the owner? No. No, we shouldn't joke about it.
No, we should not.
Well, yeah, actually,
We're a comedy podcast. So let's start our great Ghostbusters debate. Start with the first one. 1984. 7.8 IMDb.
shockingly low.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think it's about right.
I think
Philistine.
8.5.
10. It's timeless. Well, it's not timeless.
No, the special effects have faded badly.
I wouldn't say badly.
I don't think the
Oh, I thought it was
the
quite
library ghost.
No, that was good.
He's alright.
Slimer was good. I'm on about the dogs. They were terrible.
Well, that's stop motion, isn't
It was awful. They had no back legs, just flat at the back, and they never moved. They just sort of like went. "Rrrr."
Well,
And the portal into the world was a bit dodgy, but
considering it's 30 years old, though.
yeah, I'm just saying. Unfortunately, on the budget probably at the time, and the fact that it's 35 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what the budget was for this.
It
to
wasn't
be fair,
that
but
high.
probably wasn't that high. But it was the highest grossing comedy of all time until 1990 when Home Alone was released.
Wow.
And it was really made on a, speaking of budget, it was really guerrilla cowboy filmmaking.
It was, yeah. They never had work permits.
Yeah, the director Ivan Reitman was talking to the head of the studio, and he was like, told him the idea, and he's like, okay, well, how much money do you think you're gonna need for this? And he didn't have a fucking Scooby-Doo. Sorry for the Americans, that I should have just said he didn't have an idea. He'd only made one feature film previously, and that was, I think, Caddyshack, possibly. And he thought in his head the budget of Caddyshack, doubled it, so he was like, 25 million? And the guy was like, yeah, done, do it. But then he was thinking like, oh, I've got no fucking idea if this is even possible for 25 million, but... So yeah, they cut some corners. There's a scene where you can literally see the security guard when they're out in the plaza. There's a security guard running into shot as it cuts off. Pretty sure it's where Ray and Peter are talking outside the uni.
Yeah.
You can see a security guard running into shot. That's an actual security guard. Actually on duty, running across to fucking shoo everybody away.
Yeah. All the films they were in through New York, all in the trap. They just literally set up, just run down the street.
It's really expensive
Yeah.
to film in on location, basically.
No permits, nothing, just all filmed illegally, really.
Yeah.
Fair play.
So it was quite a fairly. I mean, at the time, I think it would have been a big budget, but it's not as if they had like money coming out of the ass. Like it was because the script had to be like. Mr. Stay Puft was supposed to come out of the ocean.
Yeah.
Next to the Eiffel Tower. What's her name? Statue of Liberty, to give it a sense of scale, but they were just like, that's not doable at all.
Yeah, they couldn't. I don't think there was a budget. They just couldn't get the shot right.
I think it's budget, man.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear with the script because not a lot of it actually followed the script. A lot of it was ad-libbed, and Bill Murray did most of his lines ad-lib.
Well, there's some debate apparently. Some people think he didn't even read the script and he was just winging it in every scene. Somebody said on the DVD commentary I read today that Harold Ramis wrote the majority of his lines. He
rewrote a lot of this, Harold Ramis did, to be fair.
Ramis. Because fucking Aykroyd's original vision, Mike, was like 40 pages long, and it was there was like Ghostbusters all over the world, franchises of them all over the world.
They were like SWAT teams. They had wands.
There was interdimensional warfare and like they go
Ghost
to hell.
is what it was called.
I think they even go to hell at some point possibly and all that. And and then Harold Ramis was the one that was like, "There's a good idea in here, but this is unfilmable. Like if you ever want it to come to life, you've got to let's focus on one Ghostbuster team."
Yeah.
Right, and put it in the real world. Like, just go away and try that.
Yeah, because it was set in the future originally.
Yeah. It all sounds awesome. Some of those ideas, though, because he's never let go of this idea of like the Ghostbusters becoming a franchise and franchising out. Like, because I think they did that in Did you ever watch the Extreme Ghostbusters, the cartoon?
Probably.
I only watched a few episodes as an adult. Actually, I never watched it as a kid. And I think that was Egon was still in it, training a bunch of new young'uns.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
So they've always had this idea of it, like, he's always... Because ghosts are going to be everywhere, aren't they? You can't have 4 blokes based in New York.
Just catching all the ghosts in the world.
Yeah. No. So, yeah.
But at the end of the first one, there was an unfilmed scene where it did become the franchise and it showed you Ghostbusters franchises opening up all over the planet.
Yeah.
But... obviously, they decided not to go with that because.
Well, there was never ever supposed to be a sequel. It was always going to be all tied up, and it kind of is. The story ends very nicely.
Yeah.
They're heroes. One of the things that I love about that first one, and I don't think this got me as a kid, or maybe it did subconsciously, is the way that they're tradesmen. You know, they're scientists and obviously brilliant engineers because they built all this shit, but they're like plumbers or exterminators or they're always covered in shit. They've got overalls on, they're dirty, they're smoking, it's been a hot... You know what I mean? They're like plumbers, they're like a team of fucking plumbers or something, like it's just...
Yeah.
Working class men.
Yeah, that's it. It's like...
when they've got Egon, he makes all the wonderful stuff, the proton packs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, that's... Interesting idea. Like, you know Iron Man 1, right? You seen Iron Man 1, Mike?
I have.
Oh, sorry, no, I tell you, like, it's number 2.
I haven't seen the second.
Right. Basically, the government gets Tony Stark and it says, right, you've got that tech and we want it and you have no right to have it as an individual. Now, do you not think that would have happened with the Ghostbusters? I mean, they are literally carrying around.
Is that not why they're shut down in between movies?
Yeah.
Though?
That's what happens in the second one, isn't it?
Yeah, they've been shut down because...
And they're being prosecuted.
Yeah, for damages.
But that's also because no one believes that happened. I think the thing in the second one is that, like, basically that was some huge, massive special effects show. And they're all frauds.
Yeah. And you wouldn't want us exposing ourselves. Oh shit, I've lost my... Oh yeah, so like the sort of working class tradesman element and like the idea that all their shit is like reconditioned, like
well, Ecto 1 was a hearse.
Yeah, and like, you know, stuff like...
Love Ecto 1, by the way.
Oh, me too. But stuff like the goggles.
Yeah.
Now, like, they're just like a reconditioned pair of military night vision, which at the time in 1984 was still like, I was hearing today, they'd only recently declassified, like...
Yeah, probably had.
But I learned something today that, like, the way they work night vision goggles is there's actually an algorithm in there, so there's like all this infrared light that we can't see is being converted somehow. There's some sciencey stuff happening in those goggles, and converting that infrared light into a light that we can see, so we get that weird green hue. But so in the world of Ghostbusters, then you just sort of, Egon has just got a technology that already exists because they didn't have much money, and tweaked it a bit. Instead of looking for the infrared light, it's looking for the fucking whatever's given off by Ghost, and
spectral discharge.
That yes, they literally do use that term. I love that shit. And I was listening to a really good podcast today with a guy who's been commissioned by you heard of Ghost Corps? That's the Ivan Reitman and Dan Aykroyd's production company that is in charge of everything Ghostbusters, and has been for the last few years though.
Yeah.
They commissioned this guy to write like a technical manual for the Ghostbusters stuff.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So it's all canon. It's all from. So he's had to look at Ecto-1, look at all that shit on the roof.
Yeah.
And
explain it
and come up with some sort of reason that makes sense in the world.
I've got to say, Ecto-1's better in number 2. They pimped it out.
I think I love the classic look.
Yeah.
But it's got some weird things on it. Like, do you know, like a plumber's storage pipe? Just a long tube that's to put like pipes in. Why have they got one of them? In case they break the plumbing.
On the spot repairs.
Yes. But yeah, it does look a bit more.
They pimped it out for a second, haven't
it's
they?
got like flashing lights down the side and things.
They did have those LCD lights, the message boards in the first one, but by 5 years later, that technology's come on a bit, and it's sort of brightly coloured now, rather than just red on black.
That man. The thing with this franchise is even the fucking sound design is iconic.
Yeah.
Utterly iconic.
Can I say that my favourite thing, it might be controversial, my favourite thing with the whole Ghostbusters is the theme tune.
It's incredible.
I think it's fantastic.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I genuinely love that song.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
I also listened to a podcast that it's called Pump Up the Jam, where they break down songs like microscopically, like they'll isolate the bass line and just listen to that and like have experts talking about it. And like they broke it all down. It's all Ray Park Jr., who I didn't know used to be Stevie Wonder's guitar player.
Didn't know that.
Whoa.
So it's all him playing every instrument, and they just broke down. They isolated the guitar riff, and he's and they're like, that's a fucking sick rock song, like.
Fucking awesome.
And then you had that awesome bass line, and I love this little factoid. He refused to say the word Ghostbusters on the song because he felt it was beneath him as an artist. Like, it was this fucking kid shit. So he got his girlfriend and like her friends to shout Ghostbusters. He doesn't say it once in that song.
It's actually because his son shouted it out. He thought, oh, that fits. But I read that it was his daughter and her friends. But either way,
but it definitely wasn't
a bunch
him.
of people. Yeah, it's a bunch of people. Some girls he had there for whatever reason, whether it was his daughter and her friends, or his girlfriend and her friends. And he's like, just do me a favour and just shout Ghostbusters, would you? Because his son shouted it, and he's like, you know what, that fits.
It's amazing. But back on the sound design, right, now, close your eyes and imagine the sound of the proton pack switching on.
Yeah.
Before it's even fired, just... I can't do it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can totally hear it. If I played it to you now, you'd go, oh, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Ecto-1 siren.
Yeah.
I've never heard a siren like that before or since. Like, and if you hear that, you know exactly what that is. You're not going to confuse that with a French ambulance. You will fucking know that's Ecto-1.
Yeah.
Not just the theme tune, like the incidental music. Think about the opening scene, going up to the library. That music that plays there, like the score is incredible. It's so good and it was so made by the seat of their pants. Like they really were, and it all just came together.
The library scene, just cut to that a second. That bookcase that fell down, that wasn't a stunt, it fell over.
Oh right, because they do have a pretty good reaction to that actually.
And he kept it in, so it adds to the suspense.
Yeah, there's a couple of, because we were watching it, it worked out nicely actually, obviously watching it for the show, but also I'm dying to show it to the girls. And we were watching it, just me and Leona, as a kind of, with a parent's eye, kind of, you know, is this suitable for them?
Not the blowjob scene.
I came to the conclusion that Ghostbusters 1 they're going to have to actually wait a little while for that one.
They will, yeah.
There's some pretty salty language. Everybody's smoking. There's a lot of sexual innuendo. You know, like, doesn't she literally say to, when she's possessed, Dana Barrett's, I want you inside me. And he's something like, on a first date. And there's some actual scares in it. There are some genuine scares.
The library ghost scared the fuck out of me for years. Used to catch me out every time. And I know it's there.
Dana is acting incredibly... I mean, imagine watching that with an 8-year-old girl and a 6-year-old girl when she's getting all sexy and starts like a dog and like... you know. Ghostbusters 2, maybe. I think that might be a little bit more suitable.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Well, they obviously wanted more children to watch it.
Basically, because the animated series came out not long after the first film.
And it became huge.
And it became absolutely huge amongst the 5 to 9-year-old bracket.
Yeah.
They're like, right, well, the second one, if we ever do it, and obviously they were then planning it, and to coax Bill Murray back, it was like, we need to make this a bit more kid-friendly.
Yeah.
So they still made it for adults.
I prefer it. I know it's controversial, but...
And I think the scene, I know the special effects might not stand up, but the scene where the dogs come out of the fucking chair and grab her by the face and drag her into the kitchen. She's literally sitting on her armchair and the fucking dog arms come, and they're obviously just human arms.
Yeah. In a glove.
But they come out and they grab her face and then she goes, wah! Yeah, that might be a bit much for the little uns, but we'll watch it one day.
Think of how special that day's gonna be.
It will, yeah. I think. Man, I've seen it so many times. It's never going to lose its appeal to me. But I was still quite. What struck me rewatching it this week was how fast it moves.
Yeah.
Things get going really fucking quick, man.
They leave enough time for the end.
A lot faster than the remake.
Yeah, and they don't fuck about with like explaining in a good way. It's not like they don't drag it out 10 minutes explaining how they built the proton pack or who. They just appear fully formed and it just gets off and running really fast. It's paced really, really well, and then by the time they've been in prison and all that, it's all like it's got a really fucking satisfying finale, and it's going to be a long time before anybody comes up with a better finale than a fucking, how tall is he? 60-foot marshmallow man.
Yeah.
Which we don't get over here.
No.
We don't half get the joke because that is a joke in itself. Is he's like the Pillsbury Doughboy. He's like a mascot. Like I tried to think of the most friendliest thing. If somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
We used to toast Stay Puft marshmallows over the fire in Camp Wakanda. And apparently Camp Wakanda is a camp in Canada where Dan Aykroyd may well have gone as a child.
Probably.
It's like it's not far from where he grew up.
Yeah.
So there's every chance that he went there and they put that in. So these little touches like that. There's a very, because Dan Aykroyd is massively into the paranormal.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure his grandfather was one of the founding members of the Society for Psychical Research.
Yeah, his dad wrote quite a famous book, which I don't know the title of. I'm sorry, listener. And he also attempted to contact ghosts using some weird piece of technology that had no science behind it, but
like most ghost hunting equipment nowadays.
Full on into it. But I love Dan Aykroyd's attitude to it all. So I've listened to a few interviews with him now. He's very much like, hey man, I don't know, could all be bullshit, but
I don't know. I think he just believes. He's had a lot of psychics in the family.
He's seen UFOs.
Yeah, but if you listen to him talk though, he's very open to the idea that it could all not be true as well. It's not like he's absolutely staked his fucking claim on it, right? But he does claim to have had several UFO encounters, a Men in Black encounter.
Yes, the famous Man in Black encounter.
Hand job from a ghost.
Blowjob from a ghost.
Is it a blowjob?
Oh, sorry, the film or... Oh no, he has claimed to have had spectrophilia, hasn't he?
Didn't we debunk that?
We'll never debunk Dan.
I'm pretty sure we... Hang on. He says he slept next to a ghost in the bed and he believes she may have been coming on to him, but he just snuggled and fell asleep.
Aww.
So it wasn't quite like the scene in the movie where he's outrageously sucked off.
Yeah.
You see...
That's a weird scene in the film.
It is strangely jarring, because it's also a dream sequence.
Yeah.
But belt unzipping is one thing, and then you see the ghost flowing down, but it's Ray's fucking comedy orgasm face.
Yeah.
That's just, he literally goes fucking cross-eyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that went over my head as a kid. I had no idea what the fuck was going on there.
But that is probably the bravest ghost in the world, isn't it? I mean,
Suck off
that
a
ghost
Ghostbuster.
has literally gone to Ghostbusters HQ to suck off one of the Ghostbusters.
Well, actually, it's probably a very clever way
It
to
is,
not get busted.
They keep Slimer about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Do we know the
Definitely keeping this one about. You know what I mean?
You know who Slimer's based on?
what's his face?
John
Aykroyd's mate,
Belushi.
John Belushi, yeah.
Did you know, Mike? The role of Pete Venkman was written specifically for John Belushi, but he died while Ray was while Dan was writing the script, and he said he might have said on Rogan or something I was listening to, that he was literally writing a line of dialogue for John Belushi, gets a phone call, John's dead.
Oh, shit.
So, because he was a wild party man just after a good time, Slimer is supposed to sort of represent, you know, the spirit of John Belushi.
Also just called Onion Head.
Yeah, it was. I find that interesting that it was the audience who gave him the name Slimer. By Ghostbusters 2 they acknowledge, well, in the cartoon, but in the movie nobody says Slimer. In the script he's not called Slimer, but I suppose because Bill Murray says he slimed me. Yep. Yeah. Apparently people.
Also, the animated series, which also, remember, Slimer was like, in a way, one of the main characters. He could talk a little bit, couldn't he?
Well, they fucking.
I used to like that as a kid.
By the last two series, they changed the name to Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Because he was the main sort of selling point for kids.
Yeah. So by the time the second one rolled round.
Yeah, he has to have a bit of a bigger role because that's why he's wearing a bus driver's hat. And
Yeah.
driving a bus.
Did used to like Slime as a kid, yeah.
He's ace. Yeah. What's not like to like?
Exactly.
You always keep sliming Venkman. You only ever sliming Venkman on purpose, didn't he? That's great! Actual physical contact!
He slimed me. I love, you know, sometimes the delivery, you've seen films so many times, there can just be one line, a throwaway line by like a extra that's burnt into your brain.
Yeah.
The maid, after Ray shoots the cart that she's pushing, she's picking up like the flaming rush.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? He did literally just fire nuclear energy at her.
Yeah. Imagine in the lift, I'm like, does a curtain we haven't had a successful test of this equipment yet. Venkman, turn me on, switch me on, Venkman. And I was like, turn me on, Venkman.
There's no erotic fan fiction.
There's a lot of innuendos in this movie.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of innuendos.
So many good fucking lines. Like they're not even one-liners. They're just lines that have become iconic. We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Yeah, it's just.
The light is green, trap is clean.
Yeah.
Until everything was fine until Dickless here turned off the protection grid. Is this true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
And the biggest one, I think, the one that got voted into the top 20 on some list of movie quotes, is that, you know, cats and dogs living together.
Total pandemonium.
Eddie Murphy was going to be Winston.
Yeah.
And he turned it down. Got in Ernie Hudson. Brought him in later to the film because obviously Eddie Murphy was going to be more, you know, comedy. He was the comedy act, the
bigger name.
You know, one of my favourite.
I wish he'd done that now, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I love everything about the fucking film, but like, so every time I say one of my favourite things, they're all my favourite things, but one of my favourite scenes is like nothing happens. It's just Ray and Winston driving over the bridge in Ecto 1.
Yeah.
And they have that little chat about believing in God and, you know, the end times basically, and then just that fucking gorgeous shot.
Yeah.
It must be from a helicopter or something.
Must be, yeah. Oh, it's pretty stock. Could be stock footage.
No, because you actually see Ecto 1.
Oh, yeah, because you do, yeah.
And it's that sort of purple sky, and I can't remember the song that's played at the time, but it's amazing. There's a couple of, I love shit. What song he's playing? You know when it's really weird, like all the energy's coming out in Dana's apartment smash. Believe in magic.
Yeah.
Believe in magic. It's everything about that fucking movie's perfect.
Apart from special effects.
They're amazing.
No.
They were amazing for the time.
Yeah, but for the time they were good. But
they're still practical. Oh no! Apparently, I learned today if you slow the footage down, the proton packs, when they fire them, it's too quick for our eye. if you were to slow it down and look, they put that much thought into it. They're firing the energy out. The beam starts from whatever they're firing at, like lightning strikes. Right. We're seeing it go back from the floor to the back up, aren't we? When we see a lightning strike, and it's that. If you slow it down and see, like the beam starts from what it's hit and then comes all the way back.
Cool.
Oh, it's so cool. How did he even think of that? He was his first idea was fucking wands. What were they? Magic. And then just sitting there and thinking, right, so if we're gonna catch ghosts, what equipment would these guys have? And then coming up with
has to be a gun. You're in the US. Has to be gun shaped.
Well, but just even the fact that just doing this and miming, reaching behind you to get your I think they call that bit of it the wand. Actually,
they do call it the wand. Yeah.
As a nod to the original script.
Or the stick. They do say in the they usually stick. At the very end, Renton's like, "Got your sticks?" And they go, "Oh,
oh yeah." Well, what do they say? Oh,
heat them up. Let's fry this bitch.
Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown. I fucking love you, Venkman.
Aim for the flat top.
I wanted to be Venkman so badly as a child. Laconic. Scientist who doesn't really give a fuck about science. Just wants girls.
Look at the start of the movie. He's using science as an excuse to pull that hot student.
Yeah.
And it's just like burning hell Venkman on his fucking office door written. I think it looks like lipstick, so it's obviously a female student he's already shagged and he's breaking every ethical code as a teacher.
I love him.
But he's purposely shocking that guy.
One of my favourite, when Dana first walks into the fire station and you see him fucking sprint and vault over that thing.
Hi, I'm Pete Venkman.
Oh, he's fucking amazing.
The thing is, he look like a ladies' man, does he, Bill Murray? He's just like...
He's got the confidence,
he's just got that charm, and he's like, hey!
He's amazing. Oh, I love him in that movie. He's so good. And I love the idea that basically, obviously Dan Aykroyd has a history with supernatural and whatever, but he got the idea for many things, but there used to be a tradition in old Hollywood of all comedians had a ghost movie. You know what I mean? Like Abbott and Costello did a ghost movie. I can't think of any more actors for that period. Yeah, but around that period it was a trope. They would do a ghost movie, like a comedy ghost movie. So that's where, because he was a Saturday Night Live alumni, so he was trying to think of something like an ensemble thing for me and me mates, like that. Like one of them ghosty things.
He did 2 ghost films.
Then what was his
Scrooged.
Oh yeah,
fucking
I always forget about Scrooge.
No, Bill Murray, you were Dan Aykroyd, that's Bill Murray.
What about Bill Murray?
No, Dan Aykroyd.
Okay, sorry.
We were on about Bill Murray.
Yeah. Bill Murray actually came out of retirement for this and for Ghostbusters 2 and Scrooge. Because he'd gone over 5 years. The Columbia studio exec said he likes the money, but he's not interested. He doesn't give his best. He's not interested in the roles. Which is probably true. Because as we said, he turns up at fucking events. He turns up in the park, or just turns up and serves at the bar for a while.
He does kind of play Bill Murray in his films, doesn't he?
Do you think that
you know what I mean?
Bill Murray's not actually Bill Murray? Do you think the real Bill Murray is just...
doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. I think it's a character he's developed over the years. Then again, how can all of us say who we really are? We're all playing a character.
I liked him in Caddyshack.
See, I don't like Caddyshack.
Don't you?
I think Bill Murray's great. I just hate the film.
To be fair though, I haven't watched that since... Fuck knows, I couldn't tell you last time.
Genuinely, I tried to watch it. I was like, oh my god, I bought it. I was like, I'm going to watch this again.
I've never seen it.
I just sat there and like, you know what? I can't get into this.
Bill Murray was one of them actors though. I was that obsessed with Ghostbusters that Bill Murray would just... I'd watch anything. He's not actually in that much. He hasn't done that many films.
What about Bob? That's a good film.
Yeah, but have you ever seen... I was leading on to... It even got me to watch... He did a little bit of a comeback a few years ago. It's quite old now. Martin Scorsese's daughter made that movie, Lost in Translation.
Yes, he plays the washed-up star going to Japan to advertise whiskey.
It was okay.
It's just the drama. I found it really sad. I was like, because at the end, you don't know what he whispers to her.
Yeah.
And there's all these different rumours about it. Because it's Bill Murray, obviously would have said something probably hilarious to the actress to get that reaction from her. But like, I really enjoyed that movie. He's just somebody. He'll always be somebody I love. I just love those films so much.
I didn't like that Aquatic with Steve.
I like that.
I don't like the director.
I love it when it goes mental and it just turns into a shootout.
I just don't get his films.
Wes Anderson.
No.
They're just kind of...
does what he wants to do.
Tenenbaums as well. And
he knows whenever someone approaches him for that he's going to get a certain fee, and that he's just like, you know what, that sounds interesting, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine how many big roles he has actually turned down. I mean, he could have done a lot more in the 80s. I mean, he took... In the 80s, come on, it was like everyone was churning out films left, right and centre.
I do like that, we've discussed this before, but that everyone, well not everyone, a lot of people know this fact, but I love this fact. It'll never not be weird. That the guy who did the voice of Pete Venkman in the cartoon also did the voice of Garfield in the cartoons. Well, Bill Murray did Pete Venkman in the films, Garfield in the films. There you go.
Yeah.
Lorenzo somebody is the guy who did Garfield and Pete Venkman. I watched an episode the other day. I'd forgotten the voices. I haven't watched it in years.
They do sound quite similar, don't they?
Venkman's good. He's just got that laconic, you know, can't be arsed. What is weird, what is unexplainable about the cartoon is though Egon's hair.
Blonde hair with his little black tail.
And a pompadour 50s style, like, quiffing, like, what is he, a rockabilly bass player? Like, boom ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum. You know, is he a fucking scientist? I don't know.
maybe he's both.
Yeah, no reason why he couldn't be.
Yeah, yeah. Winston says, oh, this job ain't worth $11,500 a year.
Fuck. Well, in 30 years ago, that was probably quite good money.
1984, $11,500. Adjusted for 2018, $27,500.
It's a working class wage, isn't
That's
it?
a fucking decent.
Think about it.
That's more than I'm on.
Winston
Maybe
gets...
not.
It is.
Dollars, remember, isn't it?
Dollars worth more than a pound, isn't it? Yeah, all right. Well, even so.
The average
Yeah, but it's
in
cheaper
Britain
to live in America.
is 22,000.
Gas.
25 in London.
Everything's cheaper over there, though.
Yeah.
Compared to that's the biggest complaints Americans have about visiting the UK is
food portions are bigger as well, aren't they?
well, number one, they've got less money when they get here because of the conversion. Then they find out that everything's fuck ton more expensive here, so they're doubly fucked. Winston though, he's not a doctor, he's not a scientist. He's kind of there to. I mean, nobody explicitly says this, but you know, read into this what you will. But I think he's there to drive Ecto 1. To empty the traps, bit of backup.
And what's that thing when you explain stuff on screen? What's it called? Exposition.
Yeah. His job is to be the everyman.
Yeah.
So he's a Ghostbuster.
Say that in plain English.
Yeah. Yes, he's a Ghostbuster, and he probably does understand that stuff. But it's then his job to explain it for us, because he's like just some dude that's come off the street and. Well, apparently he's got a bit. He does have a bit of a background. Apparently he's a Vietnam vet. And was a construction worker in the cartoon. That's alluded to in his background. He go and bust a ghost on his father's construction yard, and his father's like, I wish you'd come into the business with me instead of doing this.
Well,
kind of thing. So he's not as well canon wise. He's had quite an eventful life like a Ghostbuster, but he's still seen shit that'll turn you white.
He has. As Mike and I discussed off mic, we might as well bring it up now as we're on to Winston.
The black guy.
The shitting on of Winston over the years. Ernie Hudson, the actor who plays Winston Zeddemore, was the only original movie cast member to audition for his role in the cartoon. So he went to audition for the role of Winston Zeddemore, and he didn't get it.
Wow.
It was given to Arsenio Hall because he was seen as a sort of rising television star at the time. So that's a bit of a shitter, isn't it? And then there's the 1991, I believe, Sega Mega Drive game, or Genesis if you're an American listener, which just features the three white Ghostbusters. Winston's not on
literally whitewashed.
Yeah, he's not on the cover, he's not in the game, he's nowhere to be seen. There's a couple of basically most video games that appeared in the 90s, there's no Winston to be seen, all the Ghostbusters are white. And I do believe they tried to rectify this with the game The 2009 game, which has recently, at the time of recording, been re-released as a remastered version for current generation consoles. In the storyline to that, which is technically Ghostbusters 3, they make a point of explaining that Winston has been off to get his PhD and is now a doctor, and so he's sort of leveled up a bit.
Yeah.
To bring him in line. It'll be interesting to see how they deal with it in this new one. He's like, Ray gonna be working at like a exclusive university somewhere. Peter Venkman's like retired to the the Poconos or something. Fucking what is Winston gonna be serving time for robbery or something? Do they have to go and bust him out of jail?
A-Team star but with proton packs. How awesome would that be? Well, not that Winston's in jail. No, that'd be terrible. With the jailbreak scene.
I like that bit in Stranger Things where they're deciding which Ghostbuster to be.
Oh yeah.
The little black kid's like, I'm Venkman. He's like, you've got to be Winston. He's like, no one wants to be Winston. He comes late. He's shit.
I like Winston. And
He's cool, man. I just like Ernie Hudson. He's pretty cool. I mean, they don't exactly give him much more to do in the second one, do they?
No, not really. I mean, he's in it from the start, isn't he? But I think he has more of a role in the second one, actually. I think he does. Because I think he was probably in the animated cartoon.
Is it cool? Yeah. And then when all the shit goes down, he disappears.
Yeah, he's not on scene. That's the thing. It's like, well, do you remember?
He legged it.
Yeah. It's just...
Well, he's a black man in court, isn't he?
Oh!
What? I'm just saying,
he had a right to be nervous.
It's 1980s New York.
Institutional racism.
He had a right to be nervous.
Of course.
I love the Marshmallow Man. I think the Marshmallow Man looks great. I really do.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
Awesome idea.
Special effects on the ghosts, no problem. It's just a few things.
I do get where you're coming from. It's definitely dated, but I'm not going to shit on it because I think they're good enough with what before CGI. They had to be so much infinitely more fucking creative and skilled and to build things and do camera tricks and the scene where Dana's floating above the bed. Apparently Ivan Reitman used to work with an illusionist, so he just brought in a professional, because that's like a stage thing that you do, isn't it? Like an old magician's trick, like stuff like that. That's like camera tricks, whereas now that she'd just be on wires in front of a green screen and you'd just put in the background afterwards, and I get what you're saying. It's like when we're talking about the scene where the hands come out of the sofa, and if you look, it's clearly a human with a glove on and some nails, but you had to just do things, show them for a split second. Back then, never thinking that some cunt in the future is going to have this 4K resolution DVD where they can fucking freeze frame it and go, I can see the boom in the shot.
Yeah.
But I just think, I don't like shitting on it because I love it so much.
Yeah. I'm just saying, nowadays it's a bit of a weak point of it, but that's the only one really, the only one.
If you were showing it, I suppose, if you were showing
so
it
I hadn't
to
seen it for like 20 years, and when I watched it this week, I was like, ooh, that looks bad.
I think the effects that matter.
Yeah, the ghosts were good.
I mean, the librarian,
the dogs,
ghost,
the proton pack
was a model, was a dummy.
That's fine.
That works. Marshmallow Man was obviously a bloke in a suit.
Miniatures.
Wasn't too bad.
No.
Slimer and the library ghosts were the best.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've got literally no godly idea how they did that effect in 1984. Like the ghostly effect, Slimer, to make him translucent. Must have to film a puppet.
Yeah.
And it must be like putting film cells on top of each other. Like I'm showing myself to look like an idiot now.
But it was stop motion, didn't they? Just put it in after.
There definitely existed a puppet. Apparently it stank. That's why one of the reasons they called it Onion Head. But do you know what I mean? I'm talking about the translucent effect of him before computers.
Yeah.
I've got no fucking godly
Well, they did
idea.
have basic computers.
Yeah,
they
they're
did
using it for
I
that
think so,
sort of
because
thing,
Star Wars was the first in 77 to really use it.
Yeah, there's some laser beams on to...
it's computer generated.
Yeah.
Hang on, I need
Gotta
to know
be.
now. So from just a quick read what I've seen there, like Slimer was literally worn like a suit.
Yeah.
And the man had like black legs, shot against a black screen, and then like puppeted. His facial expressions were puppeted, and then those shots are then composite, not in a computer though, like sort of
Jesus.
somehow laid over each other like composite. Whereas now some directors still like to do that, film it physically, but then you go in the computer, just add all those.
Yeah.
That's obviously how Thanos was done, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Josh Brolin.
Now, if I'm really butchering that, listener, I'm now very curious to look more deeper into the actual bit of having so you film the puppet against the black screen, you film the hallway, and then like from what I was reading there, from like physically composite in the shots.
Wow.
Who knows?
Just belch.
I did.
Cut the Slimer out.
Yeah.
Actually glue it into the scene.
Yeah, that's
I imagine.
kind of.
Well, that's
Jesus.
painstaking.
Yeah. Well,
And that's why the special effects are really not sparingly used, but let's face it, they're not overly complicated. But on the second one rolls around in 89, 90 for us.
yeah. It's just I just checked myself there before I said it. I was gonna say.
Did you check yourself or you wrecked yourself?
I did. I was gonna say it was more skilled filmmaking in a way, but it's not. It's just different type of filmmaking to today. Because even today, you're doing all green screen and that. If you film it wrong, then you're fucked it doesn't matter how good your computer people are if you haven't filmed it.
Yeah.
The physical bits correctly. It's just stuff like I was saying. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Does it look better as like the skill of building a fucking set of miniatures?
Yeah.
And then getting a dude in a suit, and it has to all be. It's all about camera angles and things.
That's it. And skilled.
Yeah, it never fucking occurred to me as a child that it was a man in a suit. I didn't think about effects as a kid.
No, because you don't.
Really
It's
didn't.
on screen. You believe it.
Yeah, I knew something was happening. I know it's not real, but I never used to sit there and. That was a better time.
Because you were childishly naive.
Yeah, it was a
You
better
weren't
time.
questioning.
This is one of my problems with modern. No matter how good special effects are, I hate when you're aware that you're looking at them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even stuff like something like Endgame, even with their giant budget, some effect shots are not as expensive as others, and you can fucking
absolutely.
tell.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, they scrimped a bit on that one. That looked like a fucking PlayStation 2 game. I hate that when you become aware of it. Like you're still enjoying
Walking
it.
Dead. It started out, special effects are brilliant.
Yeah.
By the time we got to like season 8, budget was gone and they're scraped and you can see it.
You would have thought they'd had more.
It's like Game of
fucking
Thrones.
budget.
A lot of the budget for Game of Thrones went on actually animating the dragons and like making them look as realistic as possible, even down to the movement of their scales and things. And that's where they spent a huge amount of the budget, which is probably why the last couple of seasons, when we actually had big dragons, weren't quite as good. Let's say.
Yeah, I'm sorry about how your dragon show ended.
Yeah. I didn't.
Like I said,
too
there's a
much.
support group on Facebook.
So, Ghostbusters 1.
Yeah.
It was shit though, but let me just put it out. They fucked it up.
It was
Carry
rushed. It was rushed. Ghostbusters 1.
Classic.
Do we love it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? I love it. It's one of my favourite. It's my go-to movie.
It's ingrained in me.
It's a feel-good movie for me.
Yeah.
I could sit there and watch that film over and over again. I watch it at least once every couple of months.
Call it fate. Call it luck. Call it karma. I believe everything happens for a reason. Swigs the whiskey.
Yeah.
Love it.
I've got to say though, I prefer the second.
Well,
Well, we go controversial.
let's
Let's go
get
on to
into
the
it.
second.
I'll tell you why I think it's funnier. I think it's scarier.
Mm-hmm.
Places.
Those, I tell you what, those severed heads in the subway tunnel. They get me every fucking time. And I know they're coming, but they get me every time.
Go on then, Mike. Let's
It's got a
hear you.
better baddie.
Oh, Vigo versus Marshmallow Man.
I think Vigo.
But
is much
isn't
cooler.
the bad guy at the first one Gozer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, he's going to destroy the
Yeah,
world.
but he comes out in the form of a little girl with a silly haircut.
She's a woman, Mike, with a
woman.
weird icy costume.
But he's much cooler.
Yeah, but some people completely argue. A lot of people are like, it's a fucking painting. The bad guy is a painting.
You know that painting's still somewhere in the lot
creepy.
at Columbia Pictures.
Oh, awesome.
But creepy, I think.
Okay.
It's got Pimped Out Ecto 1, I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
Pimped Out Ecto 1, yeah, okay.
And I love the storyline. Taxi driver inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the hate and bile literally overflowing in the city.
I do.
And the only way to cure it is with love and liberty.
You fucking hippie.
Yeah. Sorry, but that did pull my hippie strings.
Well, the thing is, like, New York in the 80s. New York in the 80s.
I loved it.
is like
It is a feel-good scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but New York in the 80s was a fucking hate-filled
Hellhole,
hellhole.
yeah.
You know, it was.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of accepts that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like the idea. The only thing I have with this film really is the ending. I think is a little weak.
Oh, I think it's brilliant.
I don't like the Statue of Liberty thing.
I don't know. I like the fact
it,
that they're
but,
controlling it with a
yeah,
Nintendo
that's
fucking
cool.
controller.
I like it, but at the same
You
time,
know
I think
your love.
and I love
Keep
the
on
music.
lifting higher.
I do love the music.
Yeah, come on.
I don't think they make Nikes in her size, Ray.
Everybody's singing.
It's cool, but I don't think
I was
it's.
so watching it when I get in tonight.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, that's it. We'll go over it. I like the slime.
I like it. The slime I think is cool as well. I like the river of slime.
When he's got it in the toast, he's like, "You haven't been sleeping with it, have you?"
And Egon just looks at
You
him.
have.
It's always the quiet ones.
But that's that opening scene though. I got in there where the fucking the judge is giving it some and it's bubbling. They're going, "Excuse me, Your Honour,"
Yeah.
and it's that scene.
great.
It's the Scolari brothers.
His delivery is terrible. He's like, they all wanted for murder. I sent them to the chair. And you're like, I watched it the night and thought, wow. his
Out of the whole
delivery, that was shit.
franchise, though, it is not the worst acting performance. That goes to Chris Hemsworth.
Oh.
Fucking diabolical.
We'll move on to the remake.
All right.
But I like how the film opens. I like that Ray and Winston are doing birthday
Children's
parties.
parties, yeah.
I love that. It's like, and it's like
Broken
Ecto 1's like fucking on its last legs.
Yeah.
He-Man.
Yeah, I forgot that. They start chanting
And the kid who says my dad says you guys are full of shit.
Yeah.
He's Ivan Reitman's son.
Oh, who is directing?
Who's directing again?
Yes, Ghostbusters
And,
2020.
He directed this and he's directing again. But I watched it again the other night.
No, his son.
His son is directing. Sorry, his son is directing the next
Yes.
one. Ivan Reitman directed this one.
Right.
I do like this movie. I used to think it was a weaker one. I don't think it's quite as good as the first, but I still think it's a good movie. I don't think it deserves its 6.6 on IMDb.
It's a bit secret. You can see where it's a bit less gritty. Like, nobody's smoking. There's less innuendo. Some people. I was listening to some podcast the other day, and the guy was saying his favourite part of the movie is the new director, Ivan's son, was saying his favourite part of Ghostbusters 2 is the sort of rom-com between Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver. I like all that stuff, like him with the baby and all that, and it's cool, man. I like that because it's not Pete Venkman's son, is it? It's like, so he obviously fucked it up. In between movies, he still couldn't fucking. I love that he's got a shitty little TV show. He's like a cheesy. Because she says in the first one, you don't seem like a scientist. You're more like a game show host.
I love the fucking bird on the World of the Psychic show.
Yeah.
And she's like, I was abducted by an alien. He told me at the end of the world. It's gonna be Valentine's Day. He took me to his room. I was drinking alone in the bar of the hotel. He bought me a drink. Took me to his room. He told me at the end of the world, it's like, no, you got date rape. He was like, so aliens have rooms in the Holiday Inn. She's like, well, it could have been a room on the spaceship tricked out to look like the Holiday Inn. I can't be so like that. You're like, you just got date rape, Lord, I'm sorry, but you did.
Do you like? How do you feel about the Bobby Brown song?
If
it's up to us, we've got to
Is that Bobby
take
Brown?
control.
No, it's the one at the end.
Gotta take control. I fucking love that song.
It's the one at the end I don't like when they do the Ghostbusters song. But it's
that's Run DMC's horrible version.
That's
you can't fuck with a
Bobby
masterpiece,
Brown,
man. That Bobby
That was a
Brown song.
mistake.
If it's up to us, we get to take control. It's amazing. I love like the little sequence at the end where, you know, it does that thing. I love when movies do this. I don't know why, I just love it. At the end of the movie where it plays a good song and then you just see each individual actor or character. I don't know why I like that. I prefer that at the end rather than the drawn out credits at the start. Keep the party mood going.
Yeah.
The only bit, I think the shell of slime around the museum looks a bit... It even looks shit in 91 though, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I do like that they just twat it with imagine, right, I forgot to say this earlier, they had a little bit of sway in Hollywood at the time, I guess. They were young, hot comedians. But to hand in a script where in the final third, a 60-foot tall version of a well-known fucking marshmallow mascot attacks the city. Like, oh yeah, you can make that. Here's some money. And then, well, what's in part two? Oh, well, they get in the Statue of Liberty and they fucking walk it around like and start hitting buildings with it and stuff. Oh, yeah, go on. It's a little bit fucking weird, like, really.
No, the reason
mental.
the second got the fucking green light is because of the animated series.
Well, yeah, because it was
and that's why there wasn't so much innuendo, that's why there wasn't so much smoking.
Can you imagine how many...
because they're looking at the kid market at this point.
One of my earliest memories is a shit and awesome memory at the same time. I got my tonsils taken out, and I can still to this day, one of my earliest memories is the nurse when I was going in, she said, you're going to feel a little prick in your arm, I'm going to count backwards from 5 and you're going to go to sleep. And I can still remember looking at her like, what? And then, she wasn't shitting me. Anyway, woke up the next day, not feeling good. I had a hospital gown on and everything. I was on the children's ward, but I wasn't happy. It wasn't nice. You know what I got that day, the day after the operation? That's the day I got Ecto-1 in the toy range from the cartoon, the real Ghostbusters Ecto-1. I already had some figures. I'll never fucking... Other kids on the ward were jealous. It came in a purple box.
Yeah.
What a memory. But yeah, so that's why I was talking about those toys. Think of how many millions, tens of millions of dollars of action figures were sold off the back of the cartoon.
I had the action figures, I had the proton pack, I had the trap.
The little toilet that you pushed along and it fucking... literally, they sold a toilet that you pushed along, and as you pushed it along, the lid came up and like a tongue and teeth came out like that.
They're quite innovative for the time, really. They're all plastic.
And they were all quite weird and creepy. There was the granny. Do you remember the granny? You'd squeeze her like that, and the whole front of the fucking granny would open up, and it'd be like, bah! They were pretty mad little toys.
On the Extreme Ghostbusters toys, I remember having the Winston figure, and if you press the button on the front,
you squeeze
his
head spin round.
Drop. Like his jaw would come down.
You squeeze their arms and legs, and they would do these, like, the way the toy would work is quite ingenious, actually. It's like a corkscrew, so the mouths are shut, squeeze the arm, and the top part of the head spins round and goes up really quickly, so then it's span up, and there's this giant open mouth then, so it looks like they're shitting themselves. It was like with Batman toys, you had, like, your 4 original Ghostbusters, then you had, like, about 12 different versions. I had ones where they were in suits with helmets on.
That's the one that I had with the Winston
one. And you could turn the head. You turn the head from like a normal face to a scared face. They sold millions, so it was a pretty sound business decision to maybe make a second one.
Now, Slimer was on in the film because of the animated series. Janine's appearance, and Mike had a bit of a crush on Janine when he was
she's hot in part 2.
Her appearance was changed to match her character in the animated series.
I love her entire... Ghostbusters, what do you want?
It's proper New York accent, isn't it? I love it. I do love it.
It's mad. Like, I was talking about this to Leona, like the fact that there are real women. Remember the one from Friends? Because to us, for our American listeners, as British people, we only see these people on TV. To imagine that there are actual human beings in the world who... Oh my God. I mean, how do you... Ghostbusters, what are you... Dropping off or picking up?
Yeah.
And Egon, I missed it. I should have mentioned when in part 1, he's prophetic. She's trying to chat to him about magazines she's been reading, and he comes up from the desk and he goes, "Print is dead." Now, in 1984, he was a bit ahead of his time. But, that's how I mean, this is a man who built miniature hadron colliders 30 years before CERN was able to build. I mean, he's got to be Einstein level
Oh fuck yeah!
Genius.
In the first one, he's featured on some scientific journal as like the greatest scientist. He should be the greatest scientist that ever fucking lived, shouldn't he? But as we go back to the Iron Man 2 thing, which I don't think we finished. Surely the US government would want that tech, wouldn't they? I mean, we did go through it, yeah. That's why they got shut down.
But as a weapon, though, it's nowhere near. I know they're destructive. It sets toilet rolls on fires and things, but it's not as good.
In the courtroom scene, it's going through the wooden benches.
Yeah, but that's still not as good as a rocket launcher, is it, or a machine gun?
So bad if you just. And it's got 5,000 year half-life. You haven't got to buy ammunition. You're vaporising whatever it touches. Just don't cross the streams.
That would be very bad. I can't remember the exact quote. Full
protonic reversal. Imagine every molecule in your body exploding at the same time, and that happening anywhere in the world or something like that. Yeah. Oh.
Awesome. Don't cross the streams, but then they do cross the streams.
Oh, well, you have to, don't they?
And it works.
It works. It's full protonic reversal.
So, number 2, the plot line is essentially
the same.
But so
Dana gets in trouble.
It's not Gozer though. It's Vigo the Carpathian.
One ugly motherfucker.
He's
got a massive noggin.
Yeah,
he's got a serious melon on him.
Well, he was a boxer and a wrestler in Germany in the 50s. I mean, he's an imposing dude though, isn't he?
Massive.
He was very annoyed that Max von Sydow did his lines. He read all his lines.
Oh, it isn't him.
Oh, I tell you who's good as well. I tell you what thing I did find fucking creepy as a child was Dana's boss.
Oh yeah.
When his eyes turn into fucking beams in the corridor. That's fucking horrible. Yeah. I forgot about it. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get my head around the plot. So
basically, the Dana is now moved on as a kid and divorced.
She's gone from being a violinist to a fucking classical painter.
She's gone from being a classical violinist to a painting restorer.
Yeah.
You got the creepy Eastern European guy who keeps hitting on her, but she's not interested.
Yeah.
Well, he's not Eastern European, he's an American actor, he's part of the accent. Yeah. Got really into the role apparently, he even invented a Carpathian flag.
Oh, you're telling me Carpathia is not a real country?
It's a province.
Right.
It may have been a country at some point, but now it's certainly more of a province.
Right.
And you got this Vigo county to the scourge of Moldavia. 105. Was he 105 when he was beheaded?
Yeah.
And when his head died, an hour later, he said, "Death is but a window. I'll be back."
What I didn't understand though is why he sat on a throne of blood.
On a mountain of skulls.
Yeah, but it's a throne of blood.
You just fall through it, wouldn't you?
It's a bit moist, isn't it? After a while, you'd be getting trench foot in your arse.
So where does the slime come in? Because I haven't watched it for a while.
I think that was like the manifestation. It's his magic, but he's feeding off the negative energy of the city to make himself.
And there is a lot of negative energy to feed off of. That is a cool fucking idea, isn't it? I love where they're screaming stuff at the toaster.
Yeah.
And just.
But I do love the bit where he goes down there. First, they're dropping in. Egon's drilling the road.
Yeah.
And the policeman turns up. He's like, "Hey, boss, why am I drilling?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, well, yeah." And he just
Peter goes into full con man mode.
Full con man, full New York city worker mode.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then the electrical board guy turns up. He's like, "What are you on about? The gas lines are over there." And he slaps Egon over there. And he's like, "I told you they were over there.
I told you they were over there."
I love it. And they're lowering Ray down, and he's getting attacked by the slime.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Guys," and then he cracks the thing, and the two towers are there.
Yeah. Well.
They still would be if it wasn't for the Bush government, allegedly.
Well, we could blame what's her name? Oh, fucking hell, the bad guy from the first one.
Gozer.
That's it. Gozer.
The Gozerian.
Are you the gatekeeper? I mean all that shit we didn't touch.
You didn't touch it. There's a lot of sexual innuendo there. Are you the keymaster?
Yeah.
They have to make. Look, are you the keymaster?
I just love the imagery. Sorry, we're going back a little bit now, but like when Dana's apartment blows up and she's just lying on the, like, so the front of her penthouse apartment's gone, but she's still just there on the sofa, like. Oh, it's fucking.
Actually, there's a little bit of character development in that scene. A lot. It came under a bit of criticism because Bill Murray's Bankman rings Egon and Ray says, "Oh, I've just met the gatekeeper," and he's, "Oh, we've got the keymaster here.
Yeah.
You know, we shouldn't let these two together. Oh no, we shouldn't."
Yeah.
He doses her up, doesn't he? Now, why has Pete Bankman got sedatives on him? He's gone on a date. Why has he got sedatives on him?
Good point.
Well, apparently the drug he uses had a very different meaning in the 80s in the drug scene, and it's to do with bringing yourself down off a high.
Oh.
So it kind of hints that Venkman at this point is a recreational drug user.
Or it's just a plot hole.
Or it's a plot hole. But that drug did have that specific use in the 80s, and it became later on a date rape drug.
Well, if the character was initially written for John Belushi, who was a famous voracious cocaine consumer, then I don't know, possibly that was a leftover. Now, I think it's more likely to be that we need Dana to have calmed down to move on from this. Otherwise, she'll just be floating around and going mad in there. I don't know.
Then again, saying that, I mean, you know, she was literally offering herself to him on a plate. He says, "Oh, you were the keymaster?" Yes, I am. On the second attempt, isn't it? And he's and he's like, "Oh, take me now." And he's like, "Oh, I think you're a little bit too."
No, I don't think Pete's a date raper. He's a fucking leader of the Ghostbusters, man.
Well, that's it. No, I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying that drug had a different use at the time.
I think people have got too much time on their hands.
Well, so do I. I read too much into this shit. I'm just saying that's something I read earlier.
So, number 2. You got any more? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I love the Titanic scene.
Yes. Hey, you know who pops up in that?
Cheech and Chong guy. Yeah.
Cheech Marin. Yeah. Better late than never.
Yeah. Apparently, Venkman was going to say that. Yeah, but it was even Pier 54 where the Titanic was due to dock. But allegedly, it was going to be the Hindenburg that showed up instead of the Titanic, and they thought, no, the Titanic's been one more known, so we'll do that. But I love that special effect actually with the ship dock with a massive hole in its side and all the people getting off. I love that. That's one of my favourite bits of the film actually. It's always the one bit that stuck with me as a kid.
I love the stuff like in both films. My favourite scene, well not favourite again, scenes I love are in the mayor's office. In the second one they've come out of the insane asylum. Like,
he's like, where are the ghosts? Give me the Ghostbusters. Where are they?
That guy. I forgot about the mayor's second in command. He's sort of the Walter Peck of part 2.
And he's like, I haven't committed. Apparently, Bill Murray's brother-in-law plays one of the cards as well.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, man, I love it.
Oh shit! I know we didn't say that phone thing when the first one came out. This is a good bit of trivia. Sorry, I should have said it earlier. To keep the film's run going. Was it Ivan Reitman basically set up, did a trailer for the film, but put it on TV and to change the phone number to one you could dial.
Oh, so you could actually
and they actually had 1,000 calls an hour for 24 hours for something like 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
6 weeks.
We're ready to believe you.
And these featured recordings of the cat. We're busting ghosts right now.
Oh, awesome. I love shit like that.
But, I mean, that pretty cost to ring. I mean, that's...
No, 1-800 is a free number.
Is it? No.
I think. Don't.
I don't know. I know that the WWF used to have a scam running for fucking years before the internet where you could phone this hotline to get exclusive information and access, and like it was literally charging
$5
people.
a minute.
Yeah, they were making tens of thousands of pounds off of it a fucking week.
Pigs. Vulture capitalist. What about the third one then? The remake.
The remake. Well, I got nothing against it. I don't like it because it's women. I just think it's a poor film.
I watched it last night and I almost turned it off halfway through. I thought it was boring. It went on, it droned on. Chris Hemsworth was awful. But halfway through the film and towards the end, I thought it picked up and I thought it was alright. The action scenes were good. Special effects were second to none.
I enjoyed the bit they were actually testing the proton packs down the subway tunnel.
I like the...
And then it was on a trolley, it wasn't back mounted.
I didn't like the
6-shooter proton pack things.
I didn't mind that.
I'll be fully honest, full disclosure. When I first heard of it, I thought, oh, fuck off. Not because it was all female, because it was all anything, because it was a remake. I actually
thought they did a good job. Like I said, the only bad actor was the male.
Yeah, well, I was vehemently against it when I heard it, but I wasn't one of these dicks online giving anyone any shit about it. I just thought, oh, don't touch my Ghostbusters. I had the same attitude that I had to RoboCop, because RoboCop is sacred to me. I was annoyed about the remake, but then I read a comment somewhere online that just said, hey, it doesn't cancel the original one. The original one still exists. Yeah. That can still be your RoboCop. And I was like, yeah, it can. And eventually I watched that new RoboCop and felt vindicated, because I was like, yeah, it doesn't fucking touch the original. No. But I was definitely against the idea of rebooting it, because I thought, at the time, I'm not sure if Harold Ramis had actually passed on, and it was one of them where I was like, you've got all 4 guys, like, what? Don't reboot it.
Well, at least have them. But you've got all 4 guys, or all 3 surviving ones anyway. Put them in and put us passing the torch on. Do some continuation.
But I did watch it eventually. I didn't go to the cinema.
No, neither did I.
But I felt I needed to watch it, because as I saw the backlash develop, because I'm talking early days, I was against it before I probably even knew it was all female. When I saw that really fucking anti-female backlash starting to develop, I was like, oh, well, I don't want any fucking part of that, like, because people are just showing themselves up really online. Like, well, I won't pay to see it. We waited till I don't know if we got the DVD.
I think it came on Netflix.
I definitely watched it at home.
I watched it on Netflix
and was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it was alright.
I won't watch it again, I don't think, unless it's on and I'm flicking through. Maybe I might watch it with the girls one day.
It was a decent, solid 6 out of 10, I think.
I'd give it a 6.
The beginning let it down, but I mean,
give it a 6. I watched it in 2 parts. I think I was watching it in the afternoon before work. I was on night, so I watched half of it one day, half of it another. It was like 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Didn't mind it. It kept my attention. There was some bright lights, some flashing
Don't want to
colours.
go back to it. As a first viewing and only viewing, it was alright.
It was always doomed to fail.
Exactly.
For 2 reasons.
Always doomed to fail.
One, the originals are still
revered,
beloved, and the second reason is, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who perceive Hollywood to have a feminist agenda, an SJW agenda, which is a lot of the backlash to Force Awakens, all this kind of stuff. So there's a whole section of society, quite a loud,
voracious, vocal,
but it's a word for vocal, but it's along those lines anyway, that are incredibly loud online about just like, fuck Hollywood's SJW, I'm not watching this shit. And so it was doomed by that is a statement to make. The first one was all male, so this one's going to be all female. Unfortunately, the fragile male psyches of a lot of moviegoers were just like, fuck off. But the vitriol was completely like...
the comments
some actors
on IMDb.
I'm really sorry that I don't know her name, but the black actress, I'm really sorry. Sorry, listener.
She's a comedian, isn't she?
Yeah, but she had to leave Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
Just I mean, come on, guys, you could just go and watch the original if it means that much to you. You don't. It wasn't made for you. And one of the good comments I heard was, I can't remember who said it, but it was one of the actresses or maybe the director, but somebody was like, look, at the screenings and that, there's like little girls dressed as Ghostbusters, like having the time of their fucking lives. To them, it's really fucking important. Like, so let them have it. Like, it's not, and
it's Ghostbusters, so I like it. Child of the 80s, I love Ghostbusters. They remake it. I couldn't give 2 shits who plays anyone in any role. I really couldn't. I genuinely don't care.
Just care if it's a good movie.
If they want a female James Bond, couldn't give a shit as long as they do a good job in the role.
Nah, I will fucking moan about that one. That is fucking pandering. Just call her 008.
No, because
why does she have to play? So what's she going to be called? Jane Bond? Just
idea,
write a new fucking character.
The idea
you lazy
is
cunt.
the password, the code name of James Bond 007 is passed on from agent to agent, and that's to explain how he went from being quite young in Sean Connery to be old with Roger Moore, and then back to young again.
I get that.
Anyway, either way, The idea is that that's a code name passed on. Apparently the new one, 007, is going to be a chick.
Nah, they won't.
It's chick. Now I am standing up for feminist rights, I've got her a chick.
I think
she's going to be a lady, she's going to be a woman.
I think they
and it's
learned
because
their
he's been
lesson.
at the suit. So that name and number is passed
It's
down.
Absolute pandering. It's fucking bullshit. Write a new, fresh, original female hero. It will die 1,000 horrific deaths. That's why they won't do it.
No, if they wrote a new one and called it 008, it'd fall flat on its ass.
Not as flat as fucking making James Bond a woman and still calling it. What's it going to be called? So it'll be called Elsie Jones 007. Who the fuck's going to go and fucking watch that? Oh, the name's Jones, Elsie Jones. Oh, fuck off, that's James Bond's line. It won't fucking work. I reckon that would die way more than writing a new, she's 00 whatever. What's a theme? What's a girly number? 0069. Sorry. 0032. No, she's 32 double D.
What's that fucking Leslie Nielsen film where Spy Hard, Agent WD-40?
Oh man.
But no, let's go back to the Ghostbusters 3 thing, right? She's, nothing is a woman in it. I don't care. As long as they do a role well, I don't care. I just didn't think it was a great film.
No.
I mean, but it's Ghostbusters, so I like it because I'm not a narrow-minded, sexist, masochistic prick. So, what's the word for being someone who's uber masculine?
Chauvinist.
Yeah.
Chauvinist pig. Couldn't give two shits.
Yeah,
it was alright. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining enough. Kept me entertained for a couple of afternoons. It's great. Alright. It's not as good as the first one. It's not as good as the second one. But kept me going.
And there is going to
right,
be...
Can we all stop being politically correct now? It's fucking wank.
No, honestly, it ain't that bad.
I'm joking.
The first half is wank. That's what lets it down.
I think it's the pacing.
Yeah.
It's the pacing. Now, the first one and the second one, they're quite quick to move.
Yeah.
They're good sort of 90-minute films.
Ecto 1's a bit shit.
What about Ghostbusters?
Yeah, Ecto 1 ain't great.
2020 then?
Very excited. Now, if you're listening to this and you would like, I'm not going to give any spoilers because nobody's really got any spoilers, but if you want to be completely fucking info free,
skip forward a bit.
Skip 10 minutes. You've been warned, starting now.
10 minutes?
Well, we'll see.
2 minutes.
I don't know.
Oh, go on then.
Well, what do you know about it so far?
Nothing.
I've seen the trailer with the Ecto 1 under the...
I haven't even seen that.
Haven't you?
No.
And there's something forming in the clouds above it, the wind's whipping up and and
if you
comes in a little...
If you look really close,
creepy little...
as the shot is, it's essentially just one long tracking shot zooming in on a barn. If you look at the fence that it zooms past, there's like gunk ectoplasm tracks in. It's the creepy music from the first one, and you can see somebody's trying to fire up a proton pack. It's like a and it zooms in. There's something under a sheet. The wind flaps up the sheet, and you can see it's a shitty, broken down old back end of Ecto 1.
Yeah, it's got the Ghostbusters logo on the
it just cuts to black, and it says Summer 2020, and you hear the sound of a proton pack switching on.
And there's in the clouds above the barn.
Fucking stupid split-ass movie. This one's gonna be even better.
There is actually above the barn where Ecto 1 is being kept. There is a demon face forms above it as the lightning crashes. It kind of forms a demon face in the clouds.
And we know that it's going to focus on essentially what
the third one should have been.
Don't get too excited about the original cast. They're going to have very small roles in it. It's about a new generation, and all evidence is pointing towards it's going to be Egon Spengler's children. Because I've seen a picture of a kid in a Ghostbusters suit hanging out at the side of a broken down old Ecto 1, looking exactly like he's got the Egon glasses on. He's got Egon curly
If it's
hair.
all kids, that's going to annoy me.
Well,
I don't want to be kids. I want to be, people of a certain age to take on.
Prepared to be annoyed because
I don't want to be like the Goonies with Ghostbusters packs.
Hey!
I think that might be what you're getting.
So what we want is what we've said before. Is the new ones, alright, it might be kids, whatever. They're getting their asses kicked by something, and then the originals turn up.
my guess
Ray.
Egon.
There's a ghost of Egon Spengler.
My guess is Egon Spengler's kid for some reason. Because one other bit of information I know is Paul Rudd is playing. Because I think this one is set. It's not set in New York. It's actually out in the sticks. So Paul Rudd is playing a summer school teacher who's trying to investigate earthquakes that keep happening that nobody's paying any attention to. So my guess is in this little town where maybe Egon's wife and children.
Janine, hopefully, because she's back in.
No. If you think to part 2, Janine was shot with Lewis.
Rick Moranis. We haven't mentioned Rick Moranis at all yet.
No, he could be a nice surprise in there. We'll see. So I'm guessing.
No, I mean like in any of the commentary. Rick Moranis, great in both of them. Yeah.
So
flawless comedy actor in the 80s.
Yeah, I like him.
It's set in a small town. It's Egon's kid. There's a barn, old equipment. There's gonna be some ghosts. They're gonna find their dad's old shit. They're gonna maybe call Uncle Ray.
Yeah.
It should be great. Ivan Reitman's son, Reitman Jr. He's got so much riding on this because I've listened to an interview with him where he's just like, he is trying to make his dad proud.
Yeah.
He's the script writer, he's the director, and his dad was the script writer and director or whatever, and he is heavily emotionally invested in making a movie that would make his father proud, which would lead me to believe, and he's our age, our generation.
Yeah.
He knows what this means. There's every chance, even if it is starring a cast of children, that it's going to be really fucking good.
Well, yeah, that kid from Stranger Things is a pretty good actor, isn't he? I mean,
he's brilliant.
I mean, but I don't think he's going to be just. I think the originals. I think the originals might have a little bit more of a role. That's the selling point, isn't it? You got the 3 guys back.
I wouldn't get so. They may be cameos at best.
But they're going to be cameos as themselves, aren't they?
Dan Aykroyd says it's a continuation and a passing on to the next generation.
That's it. They've got to have some kind of training montage role, surely.
No, I think it's going to be more a case of like we found Dad's old car in the barn.
Ray's car, technically.
Well, yeah, I suppose, but Egon would have done all the. He would have done all the
electronics.
Because I was confused because I was thinking because of the farm setting in that trailer, like, oh, is that Ray on his old farm? He's gone down to the barn house, but Ray sold the farm.
No, he mortgaged it.
Oh, remortgaged it. So it could be Ray's farm. Do the kids go and find Uncle Ray at his farm?
Yeah.
Uncle Ray's like, oh, I don't do any of that shit anymore, like, and then they force him back into it.
I think we'll see Ray. I think we'll see Dan Aykroyd more than we see with Bill Murray. I think we'll see Ernie Hudson more than we see with Bill Murray. I think Bill's just like turning up, like you say, for the third one, not to be a twat.
I think you'll see more of them than you do Harold Ramis.
Well,
definitely.
There was some talk of, Princess Leia style reconstructing of him. They will have fuckloads of audio recorded from the video game.
Oh, and as well, remember, there's a lot of cut scenes in both movies.
So they could do a bit of that. They even, how cool is this? In Captain Marvel,
I haven't seen Captain Marvel.
Well, it's set in the 90s, and Stan Lee's cameo, it's set in the mid-90s. He's on a bus on his way. Remember, he was in Mallrats in 1995? So he's on the way to the Mallrats audition, holding the script with Mallrats written on it. But Stan was so old at the time of shooting that his voice wasn't very strong. So the head of Marvel Cinema or whatever, called Kevin Smith and was like, do you have any uncut scenes, anything any Stan dialogue basically, so we could take words and stick them together, because we can't get a good line out of him basically. He's too old and weak. And they did, so they could do something similar, do you know what I mean? Because it's seamless in the movie. It doesn't even cross your mind. You just but you go and watch it the second time, oh yeah, he sounds like fucking 30 years younger. So yeah, they could do some of that with it. I mean, I don't know how I'd feel about seeing ghostly Egon. I don't want Egon to be a ghost. Does everyone become a ghost, or do you have to be unsettled to become a ghost?
Well, you see, this is...
They don't go into it.
Well, this is what this
Heaven
is.
and
They
hell.
purposely didn't go into it, did they?
Yeah,
They didn't
that's it,
discuss religion or...
It's a dimensional.
just-
Yeah.
Well, they
If anything,
sort
they
of...
said it was they tried to give a scientific
That's
explanation.
it. It's
It's
the
dimensional.
negative energy, the proton packs, the positively charged energy. Let's move on. Should we have a quick break and then we'll move on to the equipment they use and little bits of factoid, fan trivia, shall we say?
Yeah, man.
Alright, so let's just have a quick brief look at what they use, because I mean this stuff's scientific. This is the proton pack. Don't call it a proton pack until number 2, them.
Ah.
They don't refer to it as a proton pack until they go into the tunnel. Says we should go back and get our proton packs.
Yeah.
No one refers to it as that. Positively charged ions that count as the negative energy of the ghost. Nuclear powered and a half-life of 5,000 years.
Wow.
Don't cross the streams. The PKE meter, the cute little thing you see, little antenna pop out, all light up. Didn't they used a version of an Android cop?
Ah.
Didn't they?
They did.
Yes, they did.
They-
Well done.
It is the psychokinetic energy meter. It detects and directs the user to the energy's location. Simple as. Walking around in the hotel.
In the remake, it was shaped like a vagina.
Was it?
You seen it spinning it? Well, it looked to me like a vagina. Maybe I just got fannies on the brain. Who knows? Come on.
Fanny is ass in America, remember?
We're not in America, are we? We're speaking to Queens, damn it.
Yeah. The Queen's fanny.
Oof, I don't want to see that.
But that's haunted.
Oh, fuck yeah. The trap. The ghost containment unit. Basically, they trap the ghosts for transportation to the containment unit. It's all I can find on the wiki fandom for this. No one seems to know how it works. It just traps ghosts.
To a containment facility.
Yes, the containment system. The
Light
ecto
screen.
containment system, storage facility or protection grid. A laser confinement grid that holds and restrains all the vapours and entities that are caught. Until it Dickless here switched off.
Yeah. I do love it when in Ghostbusters when finally Egon gets so pissed off with him that he fucking physically goes for him when they're all outside just before they get arrested and that. He's
He
just
said,
switched
"Your
off
mother!"
Yes, it your mother. Go on, Egon. Don't fuck with a man's protection grid.
Yeah, you never fuck with a man's protection grid.
He spent hours on that.
Oh, hours?
Well,
Fucking hell, years probably.
That's a big Twinkie.
Yeah, that's it.
What is
It's
a Twinkie, damn it?
It's American confectionery.
I know, but
I didn't know as a kid. Yeah.
I've never had it.
Me either.
I think
Oh,
it's got cream in the middle, hasn't it?
You know, she has like a sponge bar with cream in the middle.
Looks fucking nice, to be fair.
It
but-
does. That's why Tallahassee from Zombieland is always after them.
Tallahassee, what a name.
And of course the ecto goggles.
Yeah.
They just enable the wearer to see invisible ghosts and visually track PKE.
No, my favourite thing about the ghost goggles is that they are heads up. They're basically connected to the PKE meter.
Ah.
So if you don't want to be walking around looking at your meter, the goggles link up to it. It's giving you the same reading.
Right. So as much as we love Ghostbusters, the films, and the whole premise of it, because I don't know about you guys, but if Ghostbusters was a real thing, I'd be busting my ass to be a Ghostbuster. It's my dream job.
It would be fun.
It always has been since I was a kid.
Shame it's all a load of bollocks, isn't it?
And let's move on to that. Nice segue there, Mike.
No, I'm on the fence.
Huh?
I'm on the fence.
You're always on the fucking fence. You've got that many fucking splinters. The doctor refuses to take them out nowadays.
I am, but until I can't. It's been no proof, man. No proof.
Well, this is our
And
point.
where's the Stone Age fucking ghosts? And
This is the point about
where's
ghost
ghost
hunting.
pigs
If
and ghost birds?
If every single ghost, and they say, okay, all right, every single person that got murdered, they got murdered brutally there, there's a ghost on them. Why aren't they helping the police track down their fucking murderer? Where are
I can't
they?
believe you. Because if films have taught us anything, it's not like the ghost can wander in and go, "Excuse me, I'd like to speak to an officer." They go in and go, "Ah! Ah!"
Why
and
can't
everyone
we
runs
interrogate
off.
them?
I I just guess that it doesn't. It must hurt to be a ghost or something, because none of them look fucking happy about it.
In Ghostbusters, they certainly don't.
No.
Well, that's a negative energy, maybe. That's. Actually, I also should point out that Slimer may have been a bus driver in his previous life. He's on the bus, isn't he?
Yep. No, I think Simon's just there.
I think Slimer was sure right, to be fair. But he does get Rick Moranis there safely.
Yeah. Rick Moranis.
There was a deleted scene, actually, where Rick Moranis tries to bust Slimer because he was stealing his sandwiches. He wants to prove himself as a Ghostbuster.
That's quite a heartfelt thing, actually, at the end, isn't it, I suppose, Mike, when Lewis thinks that it's him that's achieved it.
Yeah.
And they're all crowding round him, and he's got his earmuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Bless him. Muffs.
Muff.
Sorry.
Yeah. So if you want to go real ghost busting, or ghost hunting, should we say, you will need an EMF meter, an electromagnetic frequency meter. It measures ambient surrounding electromagnetic fields, either AC electromagnetic fields, which are emitted from man-made sources.
But who
DC
says ghosts
fields.
give off fucking electric?
Well, this is the point. DC fields occur naturally in the Earth's magnetic field. Now, the thing is with these, is you can set them off with a mobile phone. You can set them off with camcorder batteries. You can set them off with anything that's electrical and man-made.
And no one's ever found anything
so
fucking
I think the equipment needs upgrading or changing completely.
Well, no,
you know
the
what I mean?
point
It ain't working, is it?
No.
It ain't working.
EMF meters are originally designed for detecting wiring in the fucking walls, so you know where to fucking tap your nail, put your shelf up, right? They've adapted, I'm using air quotes for the listeners, they've adapted this technology to pick up on ghosts, right? So
none of that shit has got a fucking can hold a candle. All this technology, all the Ghostbusters technology, none of it can hold a candle to Derek Acora. Just take him with you, and he'll
well,
find
funny
him.
enough you should say that. Later on, we'll get digital thermometers. Apparently, temperature drops are associated with ghosts. So if there's a cold spot in a room, could be a ghost. You have handheld or static video cameras to pick stuff up.
It's not specifically ghost-busting equipment.
It's ghost hunting equipment. Is what we use now.
They are clutching at fucking
They are.
straws. What have they ever seen on their video cameras?
You ever watched this ghost? I watched some of this ghost hunting stuff this week.
I can't.
No, and I struggled to get through it. It's all bollocks.
Of course it is.
I mean, they've been fucking the ghost hunters in American TV. They're like blue collar guys who go looking for these ghosts.
It amazes me.
That show's been for 10 years.
It
They've never
amazes me.
found fucking evidence of
How
anything.
can a show? How do these show like looking for Bigfoot, ghost hunting, all this shit?
Yeah.
How can a premise that's never reached just maintain you for fucking 3 seasons? They don't catch anything.
10 years, Gaz.
Oh, God.
10 years they've had that show.
Derek Acora, it's your Aunt Sally. Did you have an Aunt Sally? I mean Jenny. What was her name again?
I would assume I saw a medium a couple of weeks ago, just out of interest. It was £3, so they wouldn't make a medium probably. It was
You didn't record it.
No, I didn't know.
You could have turned your voice recorder on.
I should have. I never thought.
Where was this?
That could have been
£3?
podcast
When I was
gold.
at the Peaky Blinders night, they had like a bit of a fortune teller thing, but they were. I was speaking to the guy outside, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're actually these are mediums. We just get hired to work with this stuff." And I went to see it, and he was completely wrong about everything.
Of course he was.
Because
there's no such thing as psychics.
But I was just. I've never been to see one. I was curious. And as soon as
I need some answers, man.
£3.
£3 for all my answers. Get in.
Have you lost someone close to you recently?
That's exactly what he fucking said.
Has someone close to you lost someone close
I walked
recently?
in there and I sat there and he goes, "Oh, you're self-employed, aren't you?" I was like, "No." Straight away, no.
He knew he's got this bloke's either a tradesman, because he's obviously working class. He's either a tradesman or he works in a factory somewhere. I'm gonna go for it. That's how they work. He had a pretty good high. Because if you were an electrician, plumber, anything like that, you would have said, oh, yes, I am. He guessed you were a builder or something. He's like, fuck, no, he's not. Right. Do you work for?
My muscular frame.
Do you work for somebody else?
And they'll get 7 or 8 things wrong, but as soon as they get something right, that's it. They're on it, and they're like, "Look, proof."
And you latch on it.
Yeah.
Darren Brown exposes all this.
Oh, of course he does. He's brilliant on it.
He's awesome.
Fantastic.
He's ace. I love him so much.
I just went in because I was a bit pissed and like wanted to be sceptical about it, and
I always wish I was gay. That's how much I love Derek Brown.
Well, he is gay, so...
I wish I was gay.
He's brilliant.
Oh, I had a penis.
Oh, I had a penis, that would help. Be back one day, I'm sure.
It's just travelling through the multiverse, saving the day until it comes back to you. Like quantum leap. They take a Geiger counter to measure fluctuations in background radiation, digital audio recorders for EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. When you hear the "I'm gonna fucking kill you" on the background of that
Zool.
Zoom. Yeah. Thermographic and night vision cameras. Air quality equipment. This one actually does make sense.
Go on then.
If there's a carbon monoxide leak,
You've got a dodgy fridge.
Apparently, I looked at Wikipedia and that they say is the most logical explanation for most sightings.
basically you'll fucking start hallucinating and tripping out because you're high off carbon monoxide. So they take one of them in. That's the most scientific fucking thing about this.
Yeah, you don't need a Ghostbuster, you need a plumber immediately. A gas engineer.
Yeah, you need a gas engineer immediately.
Called and registered.
Of course. And infrasound equipment to assess the levels of sound vibrations. They also take dowsing rods, psychic mediums or clairvoyants, demonologists, exorcists, or just the clergy.
Oh.
And what is a
Church
Ouija,
have to have a foot in it, wouldn't they?
a Ouija board, which I'm under the impression that most paranormal investigators don't like.
I hate them myself. I've done one.
Do you know what though? I broke Leona's brain with that. Not broke her brain, I should say. But I can't remember what it was, but something to do with the Ouija board came on something we were watching. She was like, "Oh no, fuck that." And I was like, "What's your fucking problem?" Because she's a pretty rational person, my missus. I was like, "Did you do one once?" Yeah. And I was like, let me guess, you thought it worked, did you? Yeah. I was like, right. Scientific studies have shown that it is overwhelmingly statistically likely that either you or your friend were moving the glass without fucking realising you're moving because you're so fucking invested in it working. It didn't move on its fucking own. That's physically impossible. And put to bed this like fear she must have had for like fucking 20 odd years.
I'm a rationalist. I did it and it freaked me out at the time.
One of you was moving it.
I was about 14 at the time.
One of you was moving it.
It's quite possible.
It's not just possible. You're a man of science. They fucking proved that's what's happening.
Damn it, Mike, you're a science officer.
Well, yeah, one theory is actually subconscious.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
Not
One of you's
conscious
doing
movement,
it.
that's what I mean, yeah. But it still freaked me out.
You know, taking a fucking...
And then when I heard them monks chanting
on the EVP
in that churchyard, we were pissed up.
Yeah, exactly, we were pissed up.
Mate had a mobile phone. It's new. Mobile phones were new. It was a cool thing. We were just dicking around, recording ourselves.
Voice recorder on it, yeah.
And on the what do you call it, on the voicemail, and playing it back and listening and having a laugh. We did one, and then we listened back, and I swear to God, it was fucking monks chanting. It was nothing like we'd recorded. It was like, what the fuck is this? It freaked us out. Well, it freaked me out.
Digital recording,
but we recorded over it.
Things could be corrupted.
The lad recorded over it, so there's evidence.
Also, it was like one of the original Motorola fucking bricks, which...
But I swear to God, it sounded to me like monks chanting.
Well, that could be the aural version of what's it called?
It's probably a logical explanation.
What's it called when you see faces in?
Yeah.
Pareidolia.
It's like aural pareidolia.
Yeah, it could have been corrupted somehow.
Or it could have just been the fact it was a really dodgy... I mean, digital recording technology has moved on succinctly.
Do you ever hear a sound in the flat and convince yourself it's a knife murderer or something?
No, of course not.
And then...
Or ghosts. I don't believe in them, but I'm just saying the experience I had at the time, it creeped me out. There might be a logical explanation, there probably is.
There's two.
No doubt there is, but it still freaks you out at the time when you hear something like that. You think, what the fuck? But that's been my only encounter.
It's quite weird when several times in my life I've met people who, to all intents and purposes, I would class as somebody I respect and look up to, and then they've got a ghost story that they believe 1,000%.
Both my mum and sister swear they saw my nan waving at them from the flat after she'd died. They'd gone back to sort of pick up some things, and as they were leaving the flat, my sister, who was only about 10 at the time, said, "Oh look, Nan's waving." They both looked up and they swear they saw her, but grief does strange things to people.
Yeah. My friend Kane, he lived in the local church. They paved over the oldest graves they could, the extent of the boundary of the church, built some flats on it. Now he's a rational guy. He's a very rational guy, Kane. And he said, if I closed the door before I went to bed, so I closed the kitchen door, closed the bedroom door, I'll guarantee you that door would be open in the morning I woke up, and I haven't got up in the night.
I
used to hear footsteps.
The mechanism in the door could do with tightening up.
Of course, yeah, it could have done. But he's a very rational guy. He believed that to some point, and he's not the first person I know that lived in them flats and said, you know, there was something icky going on.
And my uncle as well. My uncle swears that he was in a guest house down south somewhere in the middle of the night, and he felt something sit on the bed. He felt.
That's what Ray says.
Yeah.
Damn.
There was nothing there, but he could have sworn he could felt pressure against his legs. Something was sitting on the end of the bed. And he said he checked out the next day. He was like, I ain't staying here any longer.
I'm way more fearful of... My mind would instantly... Weird sounds and things like that, my mind would go way more to there's a knife man in the house than fucking ghosts. That's just me, I guess.
But he said he looked around, there was no one there, but he could still feel the pressure on his legs. What's going on?
I've been at times wandering around...
But it could have been a dream.
Yeah?
I've been wandering around the house at times with like an improvised weapon, genuinely shitting myself because I'm convinced someone's downstairs. Happened at my mum's house, I've done it at Leona's too, and it's just some noise I've heard. The worst...
That's because he used to waking up in a crack day.
Well, yeah.
Where it's shank up his shank.
There is that.
How many shank fights have you had?
Over a rock of crack.
The worst one at Leona's house has been... So I'm lying there, everything's quiet, and I hear a voice. Like, am I dreaming or what? Like, oh, maybe I'm just dreaming. Silence. And I hear the voice again. That is actually somebody talking, and it's quite loud. And I hear it every now and then, like, intermittently I can hear this voice. And then two voices, and I'm like, somebody's arguing outside, like, and I'm looking outside, there's fucking nobody outside. Trying to keep calm, and I get back in bed and I can hear these voices again, and I'm like, they're in the fucking house. They're actually in the fucking house. And I don't wake Leona up, but I'm like, I haven't got any fucking weapons. I hear the voices, they're in the damn fucking stairs.
Not the voices in your head, are they?
So I'm sneaking down, and I've got like the flight, fight, everything's kicking off, adrenaline's going round me, I'm shaking, I've got no weapons, I'm thinking I could try and get to the kitchen, get something stabby, but what if they're in the hallway, what if they're in there, and the voices again, I'm like, Jesus fucking hell! Get down to the front room, and we've left the TV, but what was making it creepy is we've left it on a channel that's not tuned in. So it's static, and then every now and then tuning in and getting a few seconds of conversation, then going back to static. So if it was on constantly, I would have worked out quite quickly that it was the TV, but it was the intermittent. I was like, there's two brazen people have broke in and having a fucking natter. I was fucking terrified.
Brilliant.
I didn't think ghosts. But then I'm probably the one that's going to get fucking... like have the most horrific ghost experience.
You're gonna get slimed.
Because you know me,
You're getting the fucking librarian from Ghostbusters 1.
I'm not having ghosts as a concept at all.
I'm still not into it, obviously.
Interdimensional bleeding, potentially.
That sounds more plausible
I'm
to
up
me,
for that.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Because for me to believe in ghosts, you don't necessarily have to believe in heaven and hell, do you? But then you've surely got to believe that some people pass on, but some people don't. So where are they passing on to? Because it's not as if there's... I mean, how many billions of people have died?
They don't know they're dead.
Shouldn't we just be... Call back. You don't know you're dead.
Hey, isn't that cool? Fantastic. That goes
like,
on to a full Alex episode where some people... They don't know they're dead.
But shouldn't there be hundreds of billions of ghosts?
There should be, exactly. This is the thing about ghost hunting and it's like, there should be literally hundreds of millions of ghosts, and even if you only put that down to murdered ghosts, let's say, all right, let's okay, go people who've died in tragic circumstances, So let's say war and murder. There should be literally hundreds of millions of ghosts roaming around that we're all seeing.
Yeah.
And if it's just bad people...
Or people that were murdered tragically.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Like I said, ghost nonsense on the loose.
You don't want the ghost of fucking Jimmy Savile rolling around in the house.
Ghost nonsense.
Oh.
There's something strange and it don't look good. Now when.
Nonsense makes me feel good.
Don't say nonsense makes me feel good, Mike. Please.
No.
Don't say that.
Never.
That's not enough for confession. The police are going round.
Didn't think that through before I said that.
Why would you even think it?
It was funny. Well, I couldn't say.
Fucking hell.
I take that back entirely. Moving on.
It's the Michael Jackson.
I don't think anyone was taking up that idea.
If Ghostbusters was written by Michael Jackson instead.
If Ghostbusters was written by Michael Jackson's Ghost.
Nonsense makes me feel good.
Let's move on from that. Let's just draw a line and draw a line. The last thing that some ghost hunters will take.
Jingle jangle bells. Jimmy smells. I did make myself laugh the other day. I've been listening to Louis Theroux's autobiography, but the audio version, and he does all the voices, and obviously there's quite a large section on Jimmy, and he does a very good Jimmy voice, and I couldn't think, because I made up that Jimmy Savile Christmas Carol for the, and I couldn't remember it, but then I remembered the whole thing. I fucking had myself howling. I fucking said that on the Christmas. Can you remember? Jingle jangle bells, Jimmy smells a fresh corpse in the mortuary. I said to the nurse as I stepped in the hearse, do you mind if I sniff? It's funny. Listen to our Christmas episode. It's Christmas soon.
Shit, we've got to think of a Christmas episode.
Gaz's
think
choice.
I'm going to go for a happy one.
Oh, we're a dark Christmas, man.
Oh no. Because you're going to set me the challenge now to come up with something darker than
Look,
Jimmy Savile.
I'm just impressed you never did some more fucking Ghostbusters fan fiction for this episode.
I'm never going to top myself. I listened to that again the other day. I'm never going to top that. That was fucking
Halloween special,
unbelievably
people.
gross. If you've ever heard... Go on our Facebook page, go to the videos section and look for a video where you can see me in a Ghostbusters uniform, and if you get to the end, you'll get a non-prize.
How do you think we felt sat here listening to it?
Well,
we were asking you to stop.
I was impressed with myself because I read some fan fiction, erotic fan fiction. It was a crossover. It was about Slimer and Sam Witwicky for the Transformers, and Slimer turning bad and raping Sam. And
Jesus.
It was pretty graphic, but I was reading it thinking, I could do more graphic than this. This is not to the standards of our show. And I fucking outdid myself.
You certainly did.
I thought there was some pretty interesting stuff in there.
My stepsister and that went, the fuck is he on about? What the fuck was that? And I'm like, I know.
It's fairly simple. Ray got called to an apartment that he thought was a
We
ghost,
don't need to get
and
to
it was
the
a giant fat woman forced him to paint her as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and then she raped him with his own proton pack.
Yeah,
and in a moment of weakness where she allowed Slimer to eat hot dogs out of her vagina, Ray threw a trap into her pussy and killed her from the inside out.
Yeah.
It's fairly simple. I don't know what your stepsister's problem is. Pretty easy to follow narrative. What the fuck she ever wrote?
I think it was just more of a disbelief at the tale that was being told.
Halloween did the trick.
Certainly did.
What you don't know is it's been published instead.
On 4chan.
Yeah.
There's probably a whole series of it by
I'm
now.
surprised I haven't had a cease and desist letter from fucking Ghost Corpse.
Oh man, we'll never fucking get that record of the show now.
Maybe I'll read it to him.
Please don't.
Maybe you can ask him to reenact it.
Oh god. No, he's not that desperate for money.
I thought there was some good stuff in there, you know, like Winston
Move on.
with his
Move on,
side,
let's move on,
Winston
move
with his sideline of, you know, banging cuckold, you know.
What you got for us?
The last thing the a modern day ghost hunter might take is what's called a ghost box.
Oh fuck.
It's a radio with a frequency scan mode that allows some ghost hunters claim allows communication with ghosts.
It doesn't know, does it?
No, it doesn't know.
Right.
So I think we're going to be modern day ghost hunting, full of shit, because none of that stuff is designed to do what actually they're claiming it does. Apart from the clergy, who are probably quite adept at making people believe shit.
Yeah.
Was the Ghostbusters movie made by the Illuminati? No, it was made by a group of Saturday Night Live comedians.
A bunch of
Hollywood
comedians.
studio. But we'll.
At their time, were at the peak of their powers
Yes.
as well. This is worth remembering.
It most definitely was. This scene, according to this article, this scene I found in the 1985 Ghostbusters. Did you find it, mate, or is it?
Well, it's not
it
84
wasn't exactly
for
fucking
start.
hiding, was it?
He's got the fucking date wrong. For
I
a start.
found this scene. I know I'm being picky, but no, you didn't find the scene, mate. It wasn't hiding. You didn't have to. I found it. Or you put the VHS in. Oh, you're top-notch researcher. Anyway, he found the fucking scene. Notice the pyramid. Later, the all-seeing eye forms on this pyramid in the next image. The bad guy for this movie is named Gozer the Gozerian. It is a female. And the first thing, she is a female. The first thing she does is ask Ray if he is a god. When he answers no, she says, "Then die," and shocks all of the Ghostbusters with lightning from her hand.
I did notice a pyramid in the eye though, did you notice that?
I did, yeah. There was a. Yeah.
Well, notice how all four Ghostbusters stand in amazement. You would, wouldn't you? I used to watch this
Supposedly
movie over and over as a kid. Now that I've seen this movie when I'm older, it is like conditioning for the end of days.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Is this the like fucking 60-foot Colonel Sanderses and fucking Ronald McDonald's are gonna fucking take over? Well,
I would like to take on a 60-foot Ronald McDonald with a proton pack.
yeah.
I want to get that
Probably-
big purple thing. He freaks me out.
Big
What's his
purple
name?
thing.
McDonald's, big purple thing.
Oh,
Grimace.
That's it.
Grimace.
Grimace. Does Grimace freak you out?
Yeah.
He's just a big.
He's a nondescript purple blob with arms and legs.
Yeah, just creeps me out. I get him. Cunt.
What about the Hamburglar?
Oh, he's alright.
So he's saying, notice the two pillars from King Solomon's temple. Why was this put in the scene? Well, if you pay attention to the fucking film, they say that the architect of the building built it as a fucking antenna to like the fucking other dimension or whatever. So,
Weren't they a cult or something?
They were a cult, yeah.
Yes.
They were trying to bring about the end.
Were they the Illuminati cult?
Well, they
No,
fleshed
no.
this out in the game,
Yeah.
sort of part 3. There was a few buildings in New York. Like the architecture of New York was, there was a little cabal, a little group of powerful people building this shit in order to bring about.
Because society, after the First World War, they felt society was too sick to survive.
So I think this is explained in the actual plot of the movie, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
More pillars from King Solomon's temple.
Masonic symbolism.
But they're talking about ancient gods and things, right?
They did mention the Sumerians though.
Yeah, well, that's
And
just
we
ancient.
know-
And the Babylonians.
And we know that Moloch and Baal and that come from that era.
Yeah.
Well,
but also
Gozer probably is an actual ancient.
In the second film, you've got a pentagram. That's quite clear, and some other symbolism.
I'll read the.
Oh, well, that's because obviously Vigo is a Satanist, isn't he? Well, yeah.
When it says here, last one, more pillars.
No, more pillars.
It
Is that
makes
what
you
he's
think,
got?
what was this movie Ghostbusters really shows us? The movie industry has always been very obvious about what's going on around us. they condition our responses so that when similar
God.
catastrophes happen in real life, hey guys, it's just Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Haven't we seen this before somewhere?
Oh man, I wish I had a proton pack on it now.
Well, we won't need. What do you need? A can of links and a lighter? Start at his foot, and it's gonna fucking.
Yeah.
It's only gonna go one way, isn't it? That fire. Yeah.
Well, as it's a conspiracy podcast, I had to put the conspiracies in there.
No, I appreciate that.
No,
Good
it's
on you.
true.
And I did notice a pyramid in the eye, but that's in fucking everything.
Yeah. It's been on the money long before Ghostbusters.
But,
Yeah. Now, I don't think Dan Aykroyd's part of the Illuminati.
he's into the occult. A Razor Cult was in the second one, wasn't
He
it?
was, yeah, the bookshop Razor Cult.
Apparently he is into the occult.
He is, he loves the occult. I mean, I think we mentioned earlier, his grandfather was one of the founding members of the Society for oh God, the listener will correct me on this, but
Bollocks.
Secret Society.
No,
wasn't
it's
saying bollocks to you.
psychological research or something like that. It's to do with looking at ghosts. He's got mediums in the family. He says he's seen ghosts. He's had seven. He's very much into this, and that's why he wrote the original Ghost Smashers script.
Yeah.
And then Egon, what's his name now?
Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis goes, great idea. Let's just flesh it out and put it in modern day so people can relate to it, rather than it being the year 2060 and Ghostbusters franchises everywhere.
Right. What's our concluding thoughts on the Ghostbusters?
Love it.
Me too.
I'd like to be a Ghostbuster.
It's an awesome franchise.
Yeah. I like the second one slightly better than the first.
There's still life left in
They're
it.
good films.
Yeah. I disagree with the 6.6 rating on IMDb for the second one.
I think it's
I'd put it at
equally on par with the first.
I'd give it a good 7.5. I think it's alright. I went through a stage of not liking it, and then I watched it again recently, not just for the pod, but in my own leisure time, and it's like, hey, you know what? I like this. It makes me want to be a Ghostbuster again.
Yeah, man. Right.
Yeah, weird news.
Weird news.
Let's do it.
Let's finish on some weird news and for Alex.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
Okay, this blogger eats her friend's semen on a daily basis for health benefits. Now, how do I become her friend?
I don't think it just directly into her mouth, Ben. I think there's a donation element to it.
Oh, interested then?
Isn't she lovely?
And her name's Tracy Kiss, a lifestyle blogger and professional trainer. Definitely thinks one of the keys to her good looks is a daily ingestion of semen procured platonically from various male friends of hers. Well, all I can say is those male friends of her are pussies. Get her to suck you off.
What were you saying earlier about not being a chauvinistic pig?
No, I'm not a chauvinist pig, but if one of you, if you're female,
I didn't say anything when
if
you were
you're-
virtue signaling about loving the female Ghostbusters earlier, and I thought...
I just love it. I just think it was alright. But my point is, if you're a man,
Yeah.
and this hot trainer comes to you and says, I'd like some of your semen, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. How are we going to extract that semen?
Yeah, she tells you how
And
to
she
do
says, oh, you wanking a cup. And I say, how about you extract it from me?
it. Yeah, and the first thing she says is, no, you dirty pig.
That's
We're
not
friends.
what I was asking
Well, in that
for.
case then, no, I'm not going to give you any semen.
Spoken like a true feminist.
Look, I think it's fairly simple.
They're pussies for not forcing themselves on her.
No, not forcing themselves, but not asking that question.
Well, maybe they did, and they probably got that.
And they were all shut
Then I
down.
wouldn't give her any.
Well, alright.
This is triggered him.
Leave it in the tissues.
This has really triggered you, hasn't it?
Hey, no, not really. This thing is daft. I'm not giving my seed away, my premium seed. My premium seed.
Premium seed.
I am.
Demon seed.
I am a golden god.
Swallow that demon seed.
I am. Never swallow the demon seed. I am a golden god. And I'm sorry. I just don't give it away for free. I want some kind of reward.
Do you put that in your online dating profile?
Yes, I do.
Taste my seed.
No, he's like, I'm a golden god.
Yeah, I'm a golden god, therefore taste my seed.
No, but the taste my seed part.
Wow. Can we get through this?
She's called Kiss as well. Kiss, who's a vegan, says her sperm supplemented lifestyle helps her get vitamins and nutrients she can't get from the non-cum-filled plant she eats. According to Kiss, her daily DNA smoothies help her both physically and mentally. They improve her mood and temperament as well as her bodily health, both internally and externally. Now that leads on to my second point, where her sucking me off to get my seed also helps my mental health and my spiritual being. So I think it's as Sandra Wallace says, it's quid pro quo.
Everyone's a winner, baby.
Everyone's a winner, baby. Exactly. I think it's only fair that she do perform that for me. So, you know, just put it out there.
I'm not saying that. I've got nothing to add. I've got nothing to
Should
add.
we move on?
Man, you can tell I'm single again, can't you?
Grandparents caught having oral sex on a busy train in front of grandson.
Nan! Don't take it to the papers!
Well, it looks like these two lovebirds just couldn't keep their hands off each other. Deborah Tobin, 57, and Raymond Burr, 64, decided it was a good idea to act like teenagers and have sex on a train from London to the suburbs of Pitsea, England.
Oh, what the fuck not?
Why? Well, my guess
Because the grandson was there.
they just wanted to keep their relationship alive. So
Of course they
well,
did.
why not? According to the passengers, they respectfully asked Burr to stop pleasuring Tobin, both digitally and orally.
Wow.
Digitally.
Fingers link.
I was thinking like, what was he? He stuck his iPhone up at pussy and fucking rang it.
Put a USB cable up there.
I'm going to stick it up your fanny and video call you. I've always wanted to see what's in there.
But
Wow.
obviously, he declined.
Obviously.
Because no one gets between him and his woman. Wait, but who was that brave passenger that told him to stop in the first place? None other than Tobin's young grandson.
Oh, God.
Oh, that poor young man is scarred for life.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see the horny grandmother giving oral sex to another horny old person.
Oh, God.
You know what? I wish I could be that dude. If I was like 64, how old was he? 64?
Yeah.
And I'm getting sucked off by my wife on
Why
a
don't
train.
you wish you were a different 64-year-old who's getting sucked off by a different
Well,
wife
I'm
that's
64.
not... Will you still frig me? Will you still finger me? Well,
On
I'm
a train.
64.
I'd love to be... If I could be that age and still getting that...
I mean, I get that bit,
on the
but
train, I'd love
not
that.
when you've got the fucking grandson with you, though. It's like... Couldn't they have at least given 50p and told him to fuck off to the fucking...
50p on the fucking
I
train,
know,
you insane?
I know, as soon as I said it. You can't get a bag of crisps for
3
50.
quid for a bag of crisps, probably.
Well, give him 3 quid and tell him just fuck off down there for 10 minutes.
He's got the toilet for 10 minutes.
Oh, God.
I hate them toilets on the train, them doors that were all around. I've always got this horrible fucking image that I'm going to be sat there having a shit and that door's just going to open and I'm going to be revealed like a fucking shit game show prize. As the door slides across.
And here's what you could have won.
Shitting man!
Yes, your prize is shit in a bucket.
No, your prize is a shitting man.
Oh, man. Well, what happened to these fucking people?
I hope nothing.
The pair were
They get away
eventually
with it.
confronted by a transport officer after exiting the train. Authorities stated both daredevils were drinking, which could have been a factor for their
Could it
progress.
have been?
Still, after Tobin tried to fight the charges and pleaded not guilty, they realised it was useless and they both pleaded guilty in the end.
Wow.
Could I go
They
for a
both
piss,
handed
please?
100 hours of community service. Oh, she was given 150 and he was given 100.
Oh, well, she's performing the act,
She
isn't
was the one doing the sucking.
He's just fingering her. Sucking's worse than fingering it in terms
Well,
of the law.
according to the UK police,
According to the UK law, yeah. Well, so let's carry on then. What we got? Oh, Gaz, you'll love this. Is this are you contributing to the segment, Mike?
Yeah.
Let's trigger Gaz now and again.
That's my contribution this week for Gaz.
I'm just going to put my microphone in the angry position where I can grip it with both hands.
Do we talk about your microphone?
Yes. Donald Trump trolled by Make America Greta Again hats being made available. That hat doesn't make any fucking sense. It's literally nonsensical.
It's a pun.
Make Greta great again. What's
No,
it?
it's Make America Great Again, and they've just changed the letters around
Greta.
to Make
Yeah,
America
that's what I mean, but
Greta.
it doesn't make any
No,
sense.
it doesn't.
It's literally nonsensical.
Yeah.
It's never been Greta before. How can it be Greta again?
Depends where you're from in America.
How can a place be a person?
Depends where you're from in America. Hey, make America greater again.
Greta.
Depends on the accent, doesn't it?
Teen climate cunt Greta Thunberg has earned millions of fans since her powerful
Gaz.
speech at the teen climate puppet for fucking corporate fucking overlords.
No, activist.
Teen climate creepy fucking android child Greta Thunberg has earned millions of fans. These are my own views. They do not represent the views of the show, and I am just joking. Yeah-ish. Powerful speech, blah blah blah. However, it's not just her commitment to the cause that's gotten people talking. It's all those weird little fucking movements she does.
I'm not saying a word.
The 16-year-old has expertly silenced Republican climate change deniers and reverse trolled President Donald Trump, earning her the title of a bit of a legend. Who the fuck wrote this?
Uni lad.
It's written like my fucking 17-year-old niece's fucking Facebook page.
Probably who it's aimed at, to be fair.
Utter shit. She accused world leaders of stealing her childhood and her future. The POTUS mocked her in a tweet which read, "She seems like a very happy young girl looking forward to a bright and wonderful future." Instead of lowering herself to responding to the sarcastic tweet, she decided to reverse troll the president by changing her bio to reflect his comments. Sick burn! He's lost all his power. Oh, you're in control now, Greta. Fucking you told him. She changed her bio, Ben. Fuck me. Build statues, everybody.
I'm on it.
Fucking silly little cunt.
I'm
That's
on
it.
it. I'm going to build a statue of Greta.
That's the story. That is literally the
Yeah,
story.
and now someone's making red caps that say Make America Greta again.
And what will be hilarious is because people get violent, because violence against conservatives is absolutely fine in America now. People get beaten up for wearing MAGA hats. I would fucking love if some silly fucking hippie is ironically wearing his Make Greta hat, Make America Greta Again hat, and he gets fucking set upon by another gang of fucking insane liberals who kick the shit out of him, all the while screaming, "It says Greta! Fucking Nazi!"
Well, 100% the profit from her caps goes to Greenpeace. 100% the profits from his caps go to him.
Hmm?
I'm just saying it's
That's
better.
how selling shit works, Mike.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm just saying the
And
profits.
Greenpeace aren't like saints. I mean, those ships that have Rainbow Warrior 3s chugging around the world on diesel oil. I mean,
I heard something about PETA the other day as well. I need to look into it, but about how many millions of animals PETA euthanise every year.
And the RSPCA then, really.
Yeah. Look, I must point out, this is your first episode. Half of my Greta rage is for comedy effect. The other half is very real. I do not like this climate rebellion extinction business at all. I'm not joining the doomsday cult. Oh, and everyone's in on it now. I noticed a lovely poster on a phone box, I think it was. A poster for, Audible. Who do the audio books. It was like a fake tweet and it said, "From Mr. President, climate change is invented by the Chinese. It's a Chinese conspiracy or something." And then it said, like, "Leave the fiction up to us, Mr. President." Audible. Audible are fucking climate change science experts
Amazon.
now as well. Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, well, the
they
biggest
haven't got any
multinational
interest.
corporations ever.
They've got no interest in fucking anyway.
Has this triggered you a little bit?
Anything to do with it and the entire movement triggers me massively. Massively.
Has it triggered you more than SpongeBob? The SpongeBob thing?
No, that was genuine. I try and do some Greta hate for comedy effect because there has to be at least a small percentage of the audience who thinks it's funny to call her a cunt. Because you're not supposed to. How dare you? I remember that person on Twitter said to me, how low can you go insulting a child? And I was like, hold my fucking beer. How low can I go? Oh, so high and mighty.
They'd obviously never seen your Halloween fan fiction.
Well, never take a piss out of a child. Fucking children are there to be mocked.
That's their job. That's your job.
My
as a child,
as
you're
an
there
adult.
to be mocked by adults until you become an adult, then you mock the child.
It's my prerogative as an adult to mock children.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway.
That's weird news. Let's move on to Full Alex.
Woohoo!
The favourite game show in this flat. Every week Mike finds us a couple of random weirdos on the internet who he then pits against the arch saint of insanity himself, Alex Jones. Because remember, it's alright to go a little bit Alex, quarter Alex, half Alex, 3/4 Alex on a podcast or a train, but never go full Alex unless you're talking about climate change and Greta Thunberg.
Were you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
The Greta Busters.
Greta Busters! Dun, 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 dun.
There's something creepy! And it's got autism.
Oh,
Who you gonna call?
Greta Busters! I'm not being triggered, I'm just joining in because the song's awesome. I can't resist joining in.
You've
when I
got
see
to
it.
admit, it is fun to take the piss out of it. The more they tell you you can't, the more funny it is. Like the more they tell us, like anyway, I'm not gonna go.
You can take the piss out of anything. Anything's up for game. It's comedy.
That's true.
Speaking of comedy,
I totally cut off your introduction. I apologise. Very
It's
unprofessional.
alright, I've done it. So who's first, Mike? Who's the first random weirdo? Snake bit by Satan.
snake bit by Satan.
There's,
That's a song in the
yeah.
making, isn't
yeah.
it?
Snake bit by Satan.
Suck out the venom.
It's an Iron Maiden running riff going
Yeah,
on with
man.
that.
Yeah.
See you at First Saturday Night at Download next year, guys.
Hopefully, Leona's up for it too. We've just got to we've got to sort finances. But right, let's do it. Do it.
Let's fucking do it. Right, Snake bit by Satan. I don't know who this is, doesn't say his name.
Bible is mark of beast.
It's your mate. You
Oh.
don't know you're dead.
Oh, they don't know they're dead.
Yeah, they're back.
You don't know you're dead.
Oh, fantastic.
How creepy. That's creepier than anything in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Weird, creepy southern. I hate that southern accent. It's like the pedo from Family Guy. That soft-spoken southern accent to me is so fucking creepy. It's horrific.
But they don't know they're dead.
You don't know you're dead.
Can we get a doctor? I feel okay.
I want a second opinion. I demand one.
You just got a dog collar a Bible. I demand a second opinion.
Oh man.
You don't know you're dead. And then he just smothers you with a pillow.
Probably.
Well, I do now, you cunt.
Right, let's see what they're going to say.
This is a simple truth. Snake bit. If you get snake bit, you ruin your day. If you take your shirt or belt or something, tie it around your leg, and you don't let the poison get to your heart, you walk down and get grandma to fix you, you'll be all right. So snake bit is a simple truth. You live in the flesh, but you don't live after the flesh. Now, the serpent said to the woman, to Eve, and you shall not surely die. What was that snake telling her? He was getting her snake bit. He was putting poison in her.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened to all of us after she got snake bit? We all died.
He corrupted us. He polluted our seed.
So the serpent said to Eve, why, you'll not surely die. But she died. Adam's dead. And all of Adam's seed got snake bit because they had the poison in them. Now listen to this program and we're going to tell you what to do about when you're snake bit and what the cure is.
She just goes on reading chapters from the Bible now. But
Well, I love... They're both wearing aprons in this video. The lady is her apron says the Bible is the mark of the beast. The next guy has got an apron on saying the Bible is an idol. Now, if you turned up to a barbecue, bring your beer along, average barbecue in the UK, and the host opens the door, hey, how are you? And he's got the Bible is a mark of the beast, or the Bible is an idol on his
I would probably say to him, do you like heavy metal, bro?
Yeah, but it's just black with white, stark, bold writing. It's got Eddie in the background controlling the devil on his.
My favourite bit, Ben, is the guy's wearing a hat and he's obviously trying to go for the MAGA thing, but it's not quite as catchy as it. His says BIMOB or BIMOB,
I was wondering what that says.
which I imagine stands for Bible is Mark of Beast.
Yes.
Yeah.
BIMOB. Get your BIMOB hats. Fuck your MAGA hats, get your BIMOB hats. They're much, but what does BIMOB stand for?
The Bible is the mark of the beast, and you don't know you're dead.
But his whole point is, we've been snake bit by Satan because we're all descendants of Adam and Eve. Well, what are we going to do about it then? We're fucked, aren't we? We're fucking corrupted as soon as we're born.
I don't know how we're descendants of Adam and Eve, because in the Bible they had 2 sons. Cain and Abel.
I'm not a biologist, but Adam and Eve, that doesn't check out.
Nah.
One man, one woman created all the others.
And they had 2 sons, Gaz.
Then everyone else would be, well, even if they didn't know.
They were created from God's ribs, weren't they?
No, Adam was created from the earth, and Eve was created from Adam's ribs. Because he was
Does that mean Adam could blow himself?
I guess he could
like Marilyn Manson.
Allegedly. Never been proved.
I heard that Prince had it done.
I'd heard that, but
fuck Marilyn Manson.
Urban legend.
I like Marilyn Manson.
I
like his older stuff.
His music, I mean, fuck him as a human being. He's such a cunt. He really is, in my personal opinion. Don't like
I think he's a very clever guy, but I think he's got a bit. He's got a lot weirder as he's got older. When he was younger, he made quite intelligent, articulate points, especially when defending against the Columbine thing.
I think the best thing that ever happened to him was when he tried to climb up that bit of stage and it fell on him. Yeah, you're a fat, washed-up rock star, and your set just proved it to you.
He was good at Download a couple of years ago. He played a festival set. He played the old stuff. He carried it well. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. If it wasn't at a festival, I wouldn't go and watch him. Yeah. Let's put it that way. I don't think he'd hold it together for 2 hours. I mean, he held it together for 45 minutes, but I don't think he'd hold it together for 2 hours. Or an hour. Well, he's got a lot of back catalogue to get through, so let's assume 2 hours. He's not Bruce, is he? Let's face it.
No, fuck him and fuck these 2. Who's next?
Yeah, who's next? They don't know they're dead. Dr. Robert Jeffress. Democrats worship Moloch. Probably.
Well, I think you'll find people from both parties worship the Moloch.
Yep. Hail Moloch!
It's very clear to me that the average American citizen loves this president, and they're not buying into all of this impeachment nonsense.
They're not. And look, I heard it over and over again. Like you, I spoke to thousands of these people last week. And the reason they support this president is not because they're religious hypocrites. It's not because they think he is perfect. They know he's not perfect, just like none of us is perfect. But they appreciate the strong Christian stance he takes. He is without doubt the most pro-life, pro-religious liberty, pro-Israel, pro-conservative judiciary president we have ever had. And they don't want to see this warrior, in a sense, removed from his place of leadership in our country. There is a fear that if the left ever regains control of this country again, our nation is finished.
And look, I believe that. I genuinely, based on some of the legislation they've been trying to shove down the throats of the good people of California, and then with this Equality Act that Nancy Pelosi and her cronies are after, I have no doubt that they want to especially go after and target Christians in America, Dr. Jeffers.
Oh, I believe that. I believe if the left ever gets in control again, it's not going to be incremental change we see. They have said they're going to undo everything this president has done. And think about what he has done in the pro-life area, the sweeping religious liberty executive order he signed. They are going to undo that, and they are going to come after conservatives with a vengeance.
I wonder if that's why we are seeing these unrelenting attacks on President Trump, more so than any other Republican in at least modern history.
Yeah, yes, I think it is. And look, I said this on Fox and Friends yesterday, and the president retweeted my comments last night. Look, the Democrats knew they couldn't beat him at the ballot box in 2016. They are becoming increasingly aware of the fact that they can't beat him in 2020 either. Impeachment is the only option they have to remove Donald J. Trump from office. And look, I heard this sanctimonious Nancy Pelosi this weekend calling for prayer for our country, praying for prayer. Look, that reminds me of an arsonist, a pyromaniac with a match in his hand about to set a building on fire saying, now pray with me that the destruction I'm about to cause isn't too severe. I mean, if he's sincere, he'll put down the dang match. And if Nancy Pelosi is sincere about bringing this nation together, she will drop this impeachment effort. Let the American people decide 1 year from now at the ballot box. But she is uncomfortable. She's scared to death at what the American people will choose to do, and that is to keep Donald J. Trump in office.
You know, we just assume they're praying to God. I'm not quite sure. I don't know, Dr. Jeffers. I mean, they booed God, tried to vote him out of the party platform. I mean,
well, and apparently the God they worship is the God of the pagan God of the Old Testament, Moloch, who allowed for child sacrifice. I mean, the God of the Bible doesn't sanction the killing of millions and millions of children in the womb. I think the God they are worshiping is the God of their own imagination.
The God of their own imagination. I love that.
Well, that's amazing, isn't it?
Well, you're an agnostic, so you're on the fence.
Well, yeah, I know, but... Well, it's
But it doesn't.
But it's still funny, though, isn't it?
Dogmatic, like.
I say that.
Who says that their God isn't of his imagination?
Well, who's in Thor isn't of the imagination?
Exactly. Someone imagined it.
There's been 2,000 gods before Christianity, at least 2,000 gods. Hinduism's got a shit ton of gods. I mean...
I love the bit where he says, like, oh, I'm going after Donald Trump impeachment. Oh, let's just let it go and let the people decide. He's committed a crime.
Exactly.
What, you just meant to let it go because he's president?
And he's conservative.
Can you imagine if Obama did that? And they said, oh no, we'll let it slide.
They'd have lynched him.
Yeah, they would have literally lynched him.
Bad choice of words.
They would have tried.
No, fucking someone would have been calling for it, Gaz. I fully agree. Someone in America, that fucker we saw the other week, who was calling for like open warfare against liberals, he'd have fucking gone for that.
No, I think politically, it's a dumb move. Because, okay, he's committed a crime, but there's worse crimes he's committed. He's helping a genocide in Yemen. Why don't you get him on that instead of getting him on...
Kurdistan.
Yeah, and the only reason why they went after
Syria.
him is because he's trying to get Joe Biden's son in trouble.
Yeah.
One of theirs, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
It's
It's one of ours.
I'll guarantee you that Joe Biden's
makes you
son...
sick, mate.
It's just teams.
Yeah. And
It's
what's the point?
Stupid.
He's guilty. His son's guilty. He was getting £50,000 a year, or a month or whatever, from Ukraine Energy Board.
I'll guarantee that Joe Biden's son's probably about Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
So,
and although it's
Trump, he isn't. I bet you Trump's not part of Skull and Bones. He wasn't clever enough. Whatever they say, he got through college because of his daddy.
Right. What's Alex got to say, and then we'll compare these three arseholes.
And number 2's winning it so far.
Alex Jones' death toll comparisons.
Okay.
Corruption, the bureaucracy, the king's men's ruthless behavior. But the last straw was coming to take the guns. Our nation was founded about the people's right to keep and bear arms. You can go to 167 other countries and have no guns. But this is a country where we have guns. And we're 330 million people, and 300 or so die a year in mass shootings.
More than that, mate.
500,000 die from cigarettes. And a couple million die from opiates. And tens of thousands die falling in their bathrooms. But see, the media just, again, I use the Jaws analogy, came out in the mid-70s, cut, not just here, but all over the world where people have movie theaters, from Australia to the U.S., cut beach attendants. You can type that in. Jaws, Spielberg's Jaws almost killed beach towns worldwide. You'll see newspaper clippings. You click Google Images. 10 people die a year on average from great whites. I use this example every time. But everyone I know is scared to swim out in the ocean because sharks are going to eat them. One time a nurse shark swam over when I was with police, my ex-wife and kids. I said, baby, it's a nurse shark. It's obviously been fed. We're by a dock. I was climbing in with this 8-foot nurse shark. She's getting scared. I wasn't doing something macho. You can hand feed those. But see, you know what I'm scared of? When I see a bunch of jellyfish in the water, I don't get in. When you see jellyfish on a bunch on the shore, that's when you don't get in. When you're in clear water and there's no jellyfish, that's where you're safe. Rarest way to die on this planet is a great white shark attack. It's the rarest way. Some say maybe a meteorite hitting you, but some estimates are more people die than that a year. Those things, an explosion in your house or a gas main, years later they tear down the house, there's a meteor under the floor, or like you down in the dirt.
A meteorite's never killed anybody.
So
It may have killed a dog.
Great white shark attacks, but everybody's scared of great whites. In the 70s, again, same thing with guns. Mass shootings are really rare.
No, they're not.
They have hundreds of carjackings a month in Chicago. Yeah, the 2,000 black people die every year in Chicago at the hands of other blacks. It's terrible. The media doesn't hype that. Why? Because they're running the show. The government's shipping the drugs in. The Democrats are. The Mexican mafia, all God's children, MS-13 that Pelosi talks about. They're laundering that money. They're going to keep that going.
Well, what he's saying's crazy, but it's just thinly veiled crap, isn't it? And oh yeah, more people die of great white shark attacks. Oh, no one can. Mass shootings are rare. No, they're not. You're having like fucking, what is it, 500 a year at one
He's
point?
basically saying, look, there's 300 deaths a year. So what? Shit happens.
Yeah. Great white sharks.
It's a natural thing. It's not.
No.
Switzerland. Everybody owns guns in Switzerland. There's no mass deaths. Canada. Own plenty of guns in Canada.
Yeah.
No mass deaths. I'm sure they own a lot of guns in Japan, I think.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think so, because Shamiko had trouble getting on them. There are plenty of
It's
countries.
only America where there's
Then
a
again,
massive
you
gun
could
violence.
argue that somewhere war-torn has more gun deaths.
And you'd argue because they've got no basic standard of health and mental health care.
Oh yeah, I mean you've got child soldiers fighting wars in the African Congo or wherever. I don't know, in some African country, child soldiers fighting wars. Yeah, most people have got guns, but that's not because they bought them legally.
I'm saying in America, they've got no. You know what I mean? There's 40 million people with no basic health care, no basic mental health care.
That's a massive factor, and also the lack of background checks and things like that. Then again,
and the fact that you've got automatic rifles ready available.
You won't. There's a gun of automatic rifles. They are military death machines, aren't they? I mean, they're not designed to bring. I mean, the excuse is, oh yeah, we use them for hunting. You don't need something that fires. If you fed a 600 belt round magazine, belt fed chain of ammo through it, would fire that in a minute. You don't need that to go hunting.
If you need 600 bullets to kill a deer, I'd try fishing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It ain't the sport for you.
I've been shooting rabbits before now, and you know, one of us used to have a rifle, a 2.2 rifle, and one of us used to have a 410 shotgun. And the idea was if I couldn't hit it with my rifle, he'd have to take it with a shotgun because I can't hit it first time. That's the point of hunting, isn't it? Hitting it first time. Isn't that where the sport comes into it?
Right.
You know, I'm not saying hunting's great. It's terrible. It's a shit thing. But
we're not going to solve the gun crime issue now.
No, we're not.
Who's gone more fucking mental this week out of them three?
Second one for me. What's his name?
Do a quick recap.
Yeah, okay. Snake bit by Satan. They don't know they're dead.
Same, we're all corrupted from Satan's seed.
Yeah, or Todd Starnes' Fox show with the guest of Dr. Robert Jeffries, who was saying that every Democrat worships Molech and that Trump is the chosen of God.
Alex Jones trying to play down
mass shootings.
Yeah.
Which he's...
I've got to go for Alex.
See, I just think that's also him covering. Is it covering? Because obviously he's a big denier of SH, and he was. He's just him. Hey, mass shoot's all right. Guns are fine. He's only taking money from the NRA. I think this is a bit of a corporate decision to do this. I think he's doing it for the.
And he knows all his fans are gun nuts.
That's it. So I think he's doing it to play to his audience. I'm going for second guy.
I'll go for second as well then.
He's got it there.
Guys, are you going for Alex or?
Yeah, well, because they do worship Moloch.
Yeah.
And that's not that mental to me. The guy in the red team says the blue team are all cunts. The guy in the blue team says the red team are all cunts. It's just standard partisan bullshit. The first two, come on, they've got more pity for
I know,
me
some of the shit he said about Trump, said he's religious liberty. He imposed a Muslim ban!
Exactly, we know it's bullshit, but that's what you do. When you're on the red team, you talk about how great the red team is. When you're on the blue team
well,
is
if it's who spewed the most bullshit, I think it's him.
I think he's certainly living in a more deluded world than Alex is this week, which I think is the definition of.
I think they're all contenders.
He's got it. Yeah. Moloch.
Molech.
Right.
Goes to the Gazarian is what I want to see.
Me.
One day I want to be on that rooftop, facing off against a flat-topped European woman with my proton pack.
Okay, let's wrap it up because it's getting sexual and weird.
It's a good job I didn't finish.
It's too late at night for this shit. Let's say good night to our dear listeners.
Thank you for listening, everybody. I think we all sincerely mean it. I've been Ben. Don't drink the Flavour Aid and don't join a cult.
I have been Gaz. Subscribe to Sewage Pipe Gaming on YouTube and Free Biff Tannen. One day I'll explain why. Thank you. Good night.
The next movie show will explain it.
Yes, I'll write my essay.
God.
I'll read you out an essay. I'll keep it under 2,000 words.
Oh, please do.
As to why Biff Tannen should not be at the house.
I look forward to that, actually.
There are reasons. There are really logical reasons. Lazy.
I look forward to that.
It's the only bad bit of the movie. Anyway.
You got to take my shoelaces off me. You got to take my belt off me.
Oh, there's
anything
fucking worse.
Possibly sharp.
Yeah, he's such a drama queen.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
Fucking hell.
Well, I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
Is it just a
Fuck off.
And who are you going to call? Ghostbusters!
It's too late. I'm too tired. Sorry.